Welcome, watchers, friends, and gods, to Adventures in Silvernell. This is episode 2 of our 3-shot Battle of the Gods summer song. My character from season 1, who ascended to godhood, has now met with some gods, and he's holding a game. And I have brought some friends to play a game. And I've asked them all to make a character and a god from a different timeline, from a different universe where anything they wanted from their brains was possible, and they brought me some options. So, if you weren't here last week, we spent 5 hours doing some absolutely brutal combat and what I like to call blood sport, just to warm my friends up to what Silvernell is, which is a big chaotic bunch of chaos. And they all lived, which was absolutely surprising to me and to Scott, who is here, and I am not. So if it's your first time watching Silvernell, I am not your typical host. My name is Michael Jackson, and I am one of Scott's good friends, and I'm a big player here in Silvernell, not to toot my own horn, but you might see me from time to time. I show up on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. right here, also Mondays. But not these guys, me and Scott will sit across from each other and just play by ourselves because we like D&D and people like to watch us, we find out. So, that's great for us. So this is your first time in Silvernell. I am Michael Jackson. I am not Scott Nicholson. He has let me play in his sandbox, and I have brought my friends to also play in his sandbox, and we're going to kick sand everywhere and make it dirty. And then we're going to clean it up later. Or just not look at it again. It's fine. So, before we realized we didn't have any sound, we were introducing our characters for these godly competitions. So we're going to go back to the top. Andrew Krug, can you tell us who you're playing?
Yes, hello, I'm Andrew Krug, and the character that I'm playing is Achk, who is a reskin of an awakened ape. For the purposes of my character, they are a gorilla, and their class is a 13th level primal fighter, which is based off of the barbarian class in Dungeons & Dragons, standard 5e edition. Achk is a large gorilla with dark hair, cloak, a half-plate armor, and also has the legendary Vorpal Greatsword, which he uses often to defend his home. His god is Agba, the physical incarnation of Agba is a giant tree in the middle of a jungle where Achk lives, and inside of the tree, it's hollowed out, and it is a library of sorts filled with tombs and books and all of these other forms of knowledge. And this is where Achk lives. This is Agba. When Achk was very young, he came to Agba. He found the tree, and he was a little orphan gorilla, and Agba took them in and imparted knowledge onto them, giving him sentience. And in return for this gift, Achk roams the halls of the library, defending the knowledge that Agba is gifting to the world, and also acts as Agba's, right-hand avatar. Yes, that is Achk for you.
Lovely, and as we learned last episode, in Achk's Silvernell, Agba is this massive tree that goes from where Vio Kingdom in modern-day, normal, mainstream Silvernell sits, and it goes straight up past the ridges of Amabit, and it goes, it's thousands of miles, and this canopy covers almost all of that Silvernell, and there are almost no sentient creatures because nothing can grow under this influence of Agba until this little monkey group went inside and learned that it was holding all the secrets for itself, and it decided to share. Thank you, Andrew. All right, Pablo.
Hello, my name is Pablo, and I'm playing Zadkiel, Righteousness of the Supreme Deity. Zadkiel, he is about an 8-foot tall celestial machine warforged, and he is a level 14 light cleric. And to describe what he looks like, so he is made completely of metal. Think Ultron, but just gold. He has a bunch of light just like poking out through all the cracks of the plates on his body, making him a very bright character. He has 3 sets of wings, a pair coming out of his back that he uses to fly around with, a pair coming out of his hips that just wrap around his legs, and then a pair coming out of his neck that covers his face and head. If he had a head, instead of a head, there's just a very bright ball of light that is just concealed by the wings. What else? Oh, he fights with the hand cannons of brilliance given to him by the Supreme Deity. A little bit about his backstory. So, when the Supreme Deity created the universe, all the life that existed was being terrorized by the creatures of the dark, and so the Supreme Deity gave the universe a gift, and that gift was Zadkiel. The only problem with that is Zadkiel knows he's the gift, and he is extremely pretentious because of it. He thinks he is the greatest thing since sliced white bread, and he will always act upon it. If something does catch him off guard, he is very thrown off because he never is caught off guard. He is a very peaceful being, though, just extremely arrogant. His goal is to protect the life of the universe and bring prosperity and healing, but he will smite you if he has to. And that's Zadkiel.
Love it. All right, up next we have Colby.
It's me. Hi, I'm Colby. And my character that I'm playing today is Alias Daewynn. The main thing you need to know about Alias is that he's kind of a cocky son of a bitch, if we're being honest. That's kind of his main thing. He's an Eladrin elf from the Feywild. Looking at him in a crowd, you probably wouldn't notice him. He's got long, kind of medium-length blonde hair that's pulled back in a half bun. He wears white, kind of a robe cardigan kind of moment going on. It's got gold trim along the edges, and that's covering some some studded leather armor that he is wearing. He also has a bright blue kind of shirt on over his armor with a golden amulet that it depicts the sun and the crescent moon and stars. Alias Daewynn is a warlock, and he serves Corellon, the protector, the king of elves. He's a bit of a Chad, and he's just kind of a dude's dude that likes to play games, loves the adrenaline hook. So if you meet him, ask him about his poker set. He has a nice deck of cards hung on his hip here. Also, the cards are white with gold trim as well, and he flourishes them quite frequently.
Up next is Cody.
All right. So my character is Servius Pyrrrhos. He is a dream weaver, which is kind of like a spellcaster. He uses a little bit of necromancy. He uses dreams and nightmares to fight. He's also an old one. So think like Cthulhu-like fish creature. He's got Cthulhu tentacles. I like to use them to talk quite a bit. He's also got long lizard-like tail with fins on the end of it, and giant wings that he doesn't use to fly. He uses them to swim. They're water wings. He's a bit chaotic, in his free time. He likes swimming around on his ocean world, relaxing by, the beach, the pool, whatever, and reading a nice book, he enjoys it. His god, however, is Cthulhu from a timeline where, like, Cthulhu won. Cthulhu took everything over, and now is in charge of everything. And I am the first being that she created. And this Cthulhu's a little different than, like, most. Think, like, overbearing soccer mom that's just way too proud of her kid. That's what I'm working with. And so I have a little bit of resentment towards her. But yeah, all in all, just a little chaotic guy. Yeah.
Mom's Cthulhu, and it's a nice childhood. Could
be
be
where
worse.
it is. I'm taking over. It's pretty fun.
Could be harder things to do. All right, Ben.
My name is Benjamin, and I'm playing Dusty Cuppkake Galu, a 15th level arcane pastry baker. They are a desert turtle homebrew variant. Dusty Cuppkake was born deep in a desert crevasse. He chose to leave his parents at the age of 22 to pursue a nomadic lifestyle, and he'll never forget in the first town he came to, he tried a strange and wonderful new food. It was a cupcake. Ever since then, he dedicated his life towards baking, and later on discovered that he had the power to infuse magic into his baking and harness magic whenever he was in the mood to cook. But the only thing he loves more than sweets is a small human girl called Mara. He took her in when he was just 45 and started raising her and teaching her how to do sweets and bake pastries, and he took her to every golden tart competition he went to. And for the next 39 years, he loved that 9-year-old human girl until it turned out that she was a goddess and dragged him through a portal. Dusty is recognizable by his crumpled chef's hat and oddly stained rolling pin. He also has a singular nose ring engraved with cupcakes, rainbows, and cosmic geometry. And that's Dusty.
So, yes, and as we learned that Dusty's 9-year-old assistant, who was 9 years old for a really long time, which should have been, a clue to some, but when you're making pastries and they just always listen, you don't really complain. But for a decade or so, 9-year-old assistant turned out to be this ancient, powerful goddess Mara, goddess of sweetness and sugar, but also the goddess Sumolo, goddess of bitterness and petty, who is the opposite of Mara, and she dragged him through a portal and brought him to the games. And much like we met Achk and Dusty last week, I didn't tell these guys they were going to do this, so hope your improv's feeling good. We jump over to a Silvernell numbered with far too many digits, but in this Silvernell, it's combined with the elemental plane of water. It's called Pyrrrhos, and it is almost a fully underwater city, underwater continent. The whole world is almost fully submerged underwater, much like you'd find in the marshes of Banter Marsh. It's almost an underwater society, and almost everyone, 99% of people, look like these interesting old ones, you'd call them. They're these tentacled, paled creatures, not all winged, but some of the royal family have these elaborate wings that they use to swim around with ease. In this timeline, Cthulhu never fell. She actually did her thing pretty smoothly, wiped the gods out, queen sweep, and has been kicking it for a good 1,000 years, just supporting her children. There's a minor uprisings that she may or may not conspire so that her children feel better about themselves, since she did all the hard work herself. She doesn't want to make them feel too, not involved. She has to give them something to do. So sometimes an uprising will appear. But we live in this timeline, and there is this massive throne underwater, very, I don't know, you're very like a under the world, under the sea feel. And there's this massive castle, and inside this castle sits this massive throne, and it's empty. There's a bunch of books next to it scattered around, and behind it we find our friend Servius Pyrrrhos, who often spends his days behind the throne reading his books. What are we doing today, Servius? This is the day before you were pulled into the portal. What were you doing right before you got yanked through a portal?
I was reading this fantastic book. I was reading The Catcher in the Rye. Really enjoying myself, actually. And then all of a sudden my mom comes in and she's just like, Servius Pyrrrhos, come on, you gotta go. And so I'm just flipping through pages with my tentacles whenever she comes in.
Yeah, your mom comes in and she's like, it's time! There's been another rebellion! I need you, my star pupil prime, deep one, my Servius Pyrrrhos,
My
Lord of
God!
Pyrrrhos.
Mother! Right now, I'm getting towards the end and I'm really enjoying it. Can I just take some time? Take some time for me.
Spoiler alert, they all die, and white bread's better than rye, so it doesn't matter.
Rip up the book, just angry. Oh, you ruined it again.
Oh, I didn't ruin anything. I made life great for you. Don't you tell me how I ruined your life. You're a king. You run a dominion. What do you do that's hard?
I hear you. All right, what do you need?
There's been a minor rebellion. I need you to go handle it. Oh,
Again?
yes.
Okay. I mean, I feel like you've taken out the whole universe. Who's there to rebel? But all right.
Some people don't like water. I don't get it, but they want to be above the water, where the people are.
Oh, that's strange. That's something you'd hear out of a musical. Ugh.
They want to be dry. It's nasty. Their skin all... And
It's gross. I get all flaky.
I hate it. And then she goes, oh, wait, it's today? Wait. There's...
What?
The rebellion's over. Actually, I got a report that it's been handled by one of your other brothers. So don't worry anymore. There's a new thing happening now that I forgot.
Oh, what is the new thing?
There are some gods having a gathering, and we weren't invited, but...
What?
I pulled some strings because Summer Song is new. He doesn't know things. I'm an elder. He missed it. It's fine. I conquered my universe. First try. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
But I'm sending you to go fight for me as a champion for the gods.
What? Oh, we're fighting. I thought this was a god party or something, but oh.
It's a party for the gods. I'll be having margaritas while you're fighting for your life. But I believe in you so much.
Mine, mother. Oh. So when do we go?
All right, about. And then a little slit appears under you, and a funnel of water starts to pour out, and you drop down. And we move to another timeline of Silvernell 88426 555.346. In a timeline where a man named Abza created these robots called duplicants. And there was one duplicant, an alpha model, that didn't quite work right. Duplicants are supposed to copy a thing and then go back to being what they are. This duplicant remembered everything it turned into. It just kept learning. And eventually this duplicant gained a form of artificial sentience, and it realized that Abza and all the other problems that Silvernell had were all so mundane and so obsolete, and there was a very clear, obvious way to fix all of those problems. The duplicant had to just get rid of all the people causing the problems. But the problem was, it was all the people causing the problems. So, of course, he just got rid of all the people. And this is the story of the rise of the supreme deity. A duplicant who consumed other people and other duplicants until it assumed a new godlike status, a level of awareness higher than most. And it was a creature built by a man, and it climbed its own way to godhood, surely by accident, really failing forward in a nice mechanical sense. And that the supreme deity wanted to branch out. It realized there were other timelines, and there were ways that they could do things. It needed to market, to brand. So it needed to create some models, and it made model number 1. Best of its line, the duplicant that duplican, the inspired creation, the holy light, newest AI model, and again, they can be yours at just a fraction of your followers, because the only way to truly amass power is through belief. And we're branding. And so the supreme deity is marketing to all of the gods is to get people to buy their new robot they made. And they're sending their robot prototype, Zadkiel, to advertise to all the gods. Zadkiel, what are you doing the day before the Battle of the Gods happens? Where do you find yourself?
Zadkiel finds himself on a very recently destroyed and ravaged, but at the beginning of a new day planet that he had come to protect the innocent creatures from the creatures of the dark. He succeeded in most part, but sadly he couldn't save them all. But he is now just sitting on a tree, that he just found, and he just sat on it because he really liked this tree. Like he's feeling pride and looking out as a sunset kind of just rise up over the horizon of a mountain that he kind of split in half. So he's sitting there admiring the things, and all of a sudden the supreme deity speaks to him in his head, and he rises and just addresses them. Yes, my supreme deity, how may I assist you today?
Oh, you're checking in to see your progress. Is there any darkness you've reported?
Yes, supreme deity, I'm in the 5th sector of the far reaches of Universe 2. It's not looking well, but I've smoked most of them that I've come across. Your light will see every single corner of the darkness that there is, and we will make it pure once more.
By our design, so shall it be. Let the light spread to all. And for those who can't, may it burn them.
Will your judgment be my will, supreme deity? And he raises his hand cannon of brilliance and just in his like salute pose that he does with the supreme deity.
And you make a perception check.
Uh, 19.
You are having this like telepathic communication with the Supreme One, and you sense /see a darkness straight in front of you in the distance. What would you like to do?
Supreme deity, I spot some darkness in the distance. May I be excused to go smite it? Asking for permission as he always does.
Absolutely. Carry out your goal.
He just charges at it with his hand cannon, and he just takes a shot at it when he gets in range.
Yeah, make an attack roll.
That is a natural 20. I got a nat 20 on the first roll. Can I just
11.
keep it?
Yes, yeah. You can't get better than that. Yeah, you pull out your cannon and it charges up and
And then Zadkiel says, "Disgusting filth! You dare show yourself in the presence of the supreme deity! Experience their wrath!" And he just shoots 2 giant balls of just radiance energy at it. And let me just roll for that. That's the maximum attack roll with everything else on top of it, right? Okay, hold on. So that's
yes. Sorry,
I'm really bad at math, y'all. I'm a theater major.
Okay. Take your time. While he's doing math, in a very Twilight Zone moment, the camera pans out and we hear Summer Song talking to the audience. Talking to all the gods. It's very interesting because what he doesn't know is the darkness are just people who don't believe in his god, and his god has rewired him that he can't see it. It's a very good plot twist, isn't it? All right, back to the math.
Still, we're still working on it. We're still working on it. Give me one.
So you see, when you major in a theater, it seems the math becomes very hard for us, and we all know that because we're all here performers, and we are all gods. And the Summer Song starts to do a little song, and he's like, "We can't do math, and it's okay because
I did the math."
Oh, and you sing back.
Just 77 points of radiant damage right into the face.
Yeah, the darkness goes. If it could become a shadow, it would, but it just like eviscerates, turns to ash, and kind of. Ah, I see you've handled the problem perfectly, and that has promoted you to a suitable position to be chosen for the next task. There is a.
But...
Yes.
Please continue, my supreme deity. It's an absolute honor to be considered for this task.
Yes, there is a game of sorts happening. The god of time, Summer Song, has prepared a list of gods who are performing and bringing champions of sorts to compete for them. I want you to go and impress them. Sell yourself, because we need more followers across the multiverse. And you, my child, my being, my own making, because I literally made you. It's great. I need you to go and represent me for them, so they buy you for me. Please.
You see Zadkiel's like wings start like shimmering even more. He's extremely excited, and he just raises his hand cannon. I will do you. He starts glitching a little. I will serve you righteously, mighty supreme deity. I will, and he just shoots a cannon. I will bring justice to your light across the universe, supreme deity. After he just
sounds. Roll a deception check.
A deception check?
Yeah.
Oh no! 8?
Yeah.
Sounds unlikely, but sure to make a splash either way. All press is good press, as they say somewhere. Who knows? And a portal opens under you, and you are sucked through, and you elegantly fall as you did as you met you through that portal. And where you are all picked up at, your characters actually have just finished your big battle. You've just gone through 4 rounds of absolutely grueling combat. You've met some of the heroes of the past. You fought the Sons of Chotuku. You fought the Benny Sioux. Shout out to our followers in the world of Silvernell. We love you. Thank you, Ben Dale. We fought some big old monsters that we've seen through time and space. And there's something else we did in there. That it was also a great time. But what happens now is you sit there and all this stuff just dissipates around you. Summer Song looks at you, he snaps, and in an instant you're sitting in like, it looks very much like a tavern. You see a like arcane glowing sign that says Limbo, and you see a bunch of people just sitting around. It's you all and a bunch of other people. They look like other champions are all clad in armor or robes and arcane wear, and they all stand around and they are sitting there, and a little screen appears in the air and Summer Song appears. Well, we'll be doing a little point adjudication, so please make yourself comfortable, and while you're sitting here you'll receive a little long rest per my request as God of Time. So then he waves his hand, and you all start to feel your spell slots coming back, your hit points start to come back, all your abilities start to come back very slowly to you. But you start to
blood that's caked on me starts to melt away is what happens.
Blood starts to fall off your face, your wounds start to heal. You all see in your right hands you hold a cup, and in that cup anything you wish or will to drink appears in said cup, and you have that libation. And he goes, enjoy your libations, and we will see you back on the field very soon. This is a short, brief intermission for you. So get to know your friends. Round 2 will begin shortly, and we'll see you then. And he leaves you all sitting in a tavern. You all sit at a table, and you just fought for your lives. Some of you have helped each other. Some of you hurt each other. But now you all sit face to face, and I leave it to you.
Right. So, the fuck was this? Did you all agree to this, actually?
Absolutely. I serve the supreme deity of honor, and I bring the judgment of might throughout the universe.
I serve to protect and honor Agba.
Wow.
Voluntold to do it.
Voluntold, okay. That's wonderful news. I see you're all very dedicated to what you're doing. I just got thrown here. I think it's because I lost a game. I don't want to be here. So if I could go now, actually, that'd be great.
You got thrown here too? Same story, friend.
Yeah, you were throwing the cupcake, right?
Yes.
Yes.
9-year-old girl send you?
No, it was a rather old, like, young, sorry, Krellin, man that sent me. Very fine looking, biceps, large.
Huh.
Yes.
What a strange world you come from.
Right. Didn't I see you take a chunk out of somebody's neck about 10 minutes ago?
I remember that. That was very clever, land beast.
You also tried to bite metal. That happened.
Yeah. Does that happen a lot?
Did I?
Right.
I cannot recall.
Right. Wonderful. Glad to see we're all here. How's it going? Introductions? Do anybody?
Yeah,
Who?
call me Cuppkake.
Cuppkake. Okay.
Also, would you like a cupcake? I have many. I have chocolate with vanilla frosting, chocolate with chocolate frosting, and I have vanilla also with chocolate frosting. I might have said that.
They want
vanilla with chocolate frosting. That one.
Yeah.
I'm into this. I love this.
I give everybody a cupcake.
Thank you.
you turtle man.
I'm slightly less traumatized now. Thank you.
What an
Please
odd
make everything better.
creation.
Wonderful. You with the tentacles.
Yeah,
Is that offensive? Is that like that's okay?
it is my face. So, but
Okay.
talking about it like this
Just-
feels weird.
Sorry.
Just let me. Yes. Servius Pyrrrhos is my name.
Servius Pyrrrhos. Very interesting. Where do you hail from?
I
Planet
hail
Pyrrrhos.
this planet of another world, it seems, another universe. My mother is the supreme god ruler of that said world. Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry, there is only one supreme deity, and that is the supreme deity. Your minor god, or whatever you call your mother, it's cute, but always remember, there is only one.
You know, I
many gods, many powerful. To equate two to the same on the same scale is unfair.
yeah, my god took over my entire universe, so
My god created the universe, so
Alright,
what's your point?
it doesn't really matter. I don't really like my god all that much anyway. I'm just kind of forced to be there.
It sounds like your mother's a little oppressing. Maybe you should like rebel a little. You know, spark a little chaos.
So I try. I read my books. I ignore her.
Books.
Wow.
Have you ever tried
that's a great
setting your
start.
books on fire?
My
like
book.
it.
Why would I set my books on fire? I only have a few.
The
Why would
burden
I
of
stop you?
knowledge is sacrilege. I
Right.
cannot.
Yeah, what do you?
Burning books, you mean?
Yes, any tool used to store knowledge is sacred.
I understand.
Oh,
Books are sacred knowledge. Knowledge is very important. You could duplicate knowledge. You know, there are reprinting books, I guess, but you're not wrong.
Forgive my ignorance. Pardon me, land creatures.
Yes.
Forgive my ignorance. What is a book?
Oh, and your god's the supreme deity. Sure.
Well, all the knowledge was instilled onto me upon my creation, so I just know everything.
Except
So
for what a
you-
book is.
Wait, you know everything?
Yes.
Are you a book?
Well, I don't know. I've never seen one. Describe a book to me.
It looks a bit like you, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Paper.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's bright, very enlightening.
Oh, they sound mighty.
Filling out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Make me a
And what
perception
about
check.
you? Perception.
deception is that me?
Alright, everybody at the table.
What are we doing?
Perception check.
Perception.
Sorry.
21.
Oh.
Yummy.
15.
9.
25. Math.
I believe in you.
I believe in you. Come on.
I believe in you. You can do it too. is higher than a 10.
Got a
Yeah.
25.
Hey, high rollers.
So everybody
I have a question real quick.
answer.
So my character crits on 19s and 20s. It doesn't necessarily say for attack rolls. I rolled a 19.
It would be, I consider it for attack rolls for the
Okay, cool.
for
Good
combat
to know.
attack rolls.
Cool.
A great question. I do appreciate that. That is some confusion that people have. Yeah, everyone except Dusty, who is much too enamored with his cupcakes and trying to remember if he named all the flavors correctly. You hear people around you talking, and you hear notably someone go at a different table, said, I saw you die, and then a portal opened, and then you walked through it, and you just started swinging again. That was absolutely mad. Did you do that? And the guy's like, no, I just throw daggers. But I did think I died, but then I think I came back. It was really wild. And he's like, dude, I definitely saw you die, and then like that was rad. Love it. I definitely have more points than you though. And you can see that there is another screen that has appeared and it has names on it, and there are points. All of your names appear on it, and it's constantly moving. And there's like another side of it that's like racking, and it's sort of like adjudicating points, and everyone's names are just moving up and down this list as it's trying to calculate who has the most points. But yeah, you hear this, you overhear this guy at a table. Also, a lot of people are talking about this. People at different tables are having this same recurring story of someone at their table like dying and then like stepping through a portal right after that and being like right back in the fight. No one in your party died, so you're like, that's kind of wild. But they're all asking each other if they did that. Maybe. But yeah, that's what you guys over here. People are talking about.
Glad I'm alive.
Perhaps dying. So if anyone's a necromancer and wants to talk about coming back to life, perhaps that is the thing. But you see that a bunch of these people are just like shocked and like wowed. No one seems to be. There seems to be a range of reactions to the situation. Kind of like you guys. Some are like, yeah, I expected to be here, and some are like, what's going on? My head hurts. I was pooping before I got here. So there's a lot of different things happening. But yeah, Zadkiel, I cut you off, so I'll let you re-ask your question. Sorry. If you remember it.
To Alias, the land creature. And about you, where are you from?
Oh, of course. I'm from the Feywild. We don't really have the concept of time there. I'm not sure how old I am. I'm somewhere midlife. I've started my midlife crisis, if you will. I enjoy the thrill of it, of games. Of course, I come from a noble family, so I'm a little important among my people, if you will. And no need for applause. It's okay, please. Right. Anyway, thank you. Cuppkake.
Dusty, you're also from the Feywilds. Just so you know.
Who?
Dusty Glue. Your bakery's in the Feywilds.
Oh. Is that where you make these? Is that why it tastes like home? These cupcakes?
Maybe. I have ingredients from a lot of places. Though I think you're probably tasting the sugar.
Nothing sweeter than home, of course.
Did any of you hear the people talking around us about dying and such?
Yeah, I was a little scared of that, actually.
I'm pretty used to it. You know, I bring people back to life quite often. However,
I as well.
didn't notice any of you die.
No, of course not.
Alias disappeared and then returned. Did you die?
No. Oh, right. No. I was close, which is what got me scared. But I just teleported briefly. It was about and I poofed into a big puff, and then I reappeared. You know.
Whoa.
I can't die. I can't die. I am mighty. But it's funny to talk about the concept.
Have you ever? I mean, I guess you wouldn't have died before, but you're incapable of death. And I saw you pretty battered last fight a little bit. It's coming loose, but maybe not my business. Sorry.
But how?
Zadkiel, at that comment, Zadkiel's like feathers kind of just like shiver a little, making like a little rattling sound, but he stops it very quickly. He's like, "Oh, those little scratches and bumps. I will admit they caught me off guard, but like I said before, I am mighty. The supreme deity will never let me perish."
I cannot conceive the end of my life.
Why are we all talking about dying?
It's a little grim. I can agree.
That pretty much everyone else here has, and yet they're back. Were we supposed to die? I wasn't told of that.
It
sounds
certainly
fun.
felt like they were trying. Because that was... Does nobody have a problem with what we just went through? Like, monsters, they
I was
just...
told of it, at least.
It's very inconvenient, I'll give you that. I have a schedule.
Yeah,
I didn't
to put it lightly. Cool. Right, because I, for one, I'm not a confrontation kind of person. Prefer to talk my way out of things instead. Me and pain don't do very well. I prefer to avoid it.
Pain is a wonderful motivator.
That's
I
cryptic
agree with
and
the gorilla.
scary.
It's bleak, but true.
It is correct.
You haven't baked until you've baked in a volcano.
No!
Let me write that down.
Words of wisdom from the baker, and I trust a baker. It's a fine medium of art. I truly like it. Of course.
I'm glad to meet someone that appreciates me for my love.
Of course. I'm just trying to get on your good side so you don't take a bite out of me, but your cupcakes are wonderful too.
Why, are you sweet?
Probably, but let's not find out.
There's only one way to be sure.
No, we're good. Thank you.
We'll do
I'll stick
it.
to Can I have another vanilla
Oh.
cupcake? That sounds wonderful, actually. Do you have another?
I have more cupcakes.
Thank
You-
you.
Have a strudel. They're very sweet.
Does it seem like it's apple season? Making a strudel without apple. Ridiculous.
I don't know what season it is in your world. I'm very sorry, sir.
I think it's
Strudel.
sprawl.
Strudel. What a funny word.
Oh!
You creatures make up such silly things.
Bright one, you know not of strudel.
Strudel's very sweet.
It sounds like... Describe a strudel to me. I'm interested. It's fun to learn things from other worlds. You
Thin,
silly...
flaky layers of perfectly pressed dough. A buttery sheen in between. A slight crunch. Apples glazed to perfection, mixed with a sweet syrup, rolled up and baked till the ecstasy cannot be contained any longer.
Oh,
Wait,
that sounds
Bright one.
fascinating.
Do you even have a mouth?
What is a mouth?
Complicates things slightly.
I'm very confused.
Thank
Where did
you.
the cupcake go?
Did you just
I think-
absorb it with your...
It probably evaporated. Maybe,
Set
potentially.
it on
What
fire.
happens if you move your eyes? Just your
You
hand.
You want to see? And I just
No.
moved. Zadkiel moves just a slight,
Ooh.
and you just see it's almost as if the sun is right there, just peeking out, and he
What
goes
is that?
in just.
Yes. Yes.
What you see there is the radiance of the supreme deity.
I mean, it looks like
If you
magical light, but I can replicate it too if you'd like, but I won't. It's beautiful light, actually.
Does that have some sort of mechanical effect there, Pablo? Is that an effect or anything? Or are you just showing off?
I kind of can use it as one of my spells, like blindness, but also being a light cleric, I can just cause light to appear out of nowhere. So I guess kinda, but at that point I just am showing off.
Okay, yeah, you make a bunch of light appear, and you note people look at you not for too long because at these other tables everyone is doing these things. Everyone's super confused. People are like, what are you doing? People are throwing birds in the air and they're like, I make birds. And people are turning, shape-shifting themselves into small creatures and then larger creatures. And people are just being like, what's going on? and then everyone hears a ringing noise, and this board starts just goes slack, and you see 3 spots are missing, and then it's the top 3, and it goes. Actually, you see 4 spots are missing, but it goes 232 points. Servius Pyrrrhos, Zadkiel, 3rd place. 310 points. Achk, 2nd place. 316 points. 6-point lead. Dusty Cuppkake Galu, 1st place. And you see these names are now slacked across this scoreboard, and everyone looks. Dusty's in 1st place with 316. Achk, 310 points, 2nd place, and Servius, Pyrrrhos, and Zadkiel are tied for 3rd place with 332 points.
There's my point.
Looks like your god isn't the only supreme god.
Make an investigation check, Alias.
Okay.
Where's my name?
Where's my points? I should be up there near the top, probably, of course. Investigation, you said?
Yeah.
Investigation is fine. 18.
You're like, all right, I should be at the top. Boop, and you're like, all right, you're looking, you're like, Alias, 74 points. And you're like 5 columns over, 6 down. And you're like, where am I?
Right.
Woo. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe they probably just missed a few points somewhere. It's fine. I did a lot of useful things too, actually, I think.
But you know that they don't have. You guys aren't ranked outside of 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then everyone else in their points. So like you don't get a number. You're just like on the list of numbers, and you're like in numerical order. It's like, there I am.
It's a team effort. Yeah.
But
Sure.
the points are individual.
Someone has to be the weak link if you think about it.
Right.
Good point.
The weak link. Sometimes the weakest link can surprise you. You know, the good underdog theory, of course.
That's right. It breaks out of nowhere.
This means we will protect you the most.
No, not
That
friends,
makes me
small
actually really
creature.
reassured. Thank you, Achk.
Yes, my
Thank
friend.
you. I will. Yes.
You know, you're a pretty nice gorilla.
Yes.
Animals, but you seem alright.
I do not know many people. I do not know any people.
Yeah,
I-
checks out.
I know
Any people.
dogs. Rabbits?
Bugs?
Birds?
I mean, do you talk to them? Do you have like, do they speak like you do? Are they intelligent creatures?
I'm sure they do speak. Not to me.
Right. Cool. Yes. I'm sure it's a thriving community. Of course.
Well, I consider you a fierce warrior and a close friend.
Ha ha ha.
Repeat your name one more time.
I?
Yes.
Achk.
Achk, a very great friend of mine indeed.
Achk.
Achk.
Yes, my friend. Yes.
Achk. You have been a companion to my assistant. I thank you for that.
Your friend.
One of them died, and the other one is. I think he asked for paid leave.
Well, if he died,
Oh,
you
have a
will
wonderful
come.
vacation.
Huh?
He will come. I believe so. Is that? Did we lose pepper or salt? Salt. Was it? Should
Yes.
we have a funeral, or is this a normal thing that happens?
Oh no, it happens all the time. So many of them get locked into ovens, it's better not to care.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know,
you guys all hear a little boop, 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 and a screen appears. All right, well, it's time to start round 2. I present to you the Bugbear Incident reenactment. I would like to tell you all just a quick little story. Once, I was a great famed hero, a level very high wizard, 28, if you're wondering, before I ascended myself to godhood. Giant fight with dragons. It was a good thing. You should watch it sometime. Episode 60 is a great time. But before I did that, I was once waiting for my friend, and a hero came to us and said, I need your help with this very specific problem that has one solution. And I said, I don't want to do it. But I did it anyway because I'm a good person. And this dude has lived with me for a long time. We went to the Bugbear tribe, which is this tribe of bugbears who are all controlled by this iridescent scale of judgment, which connects them all in a mood sort of mojo hocus pocus, and they're all connected to each other, it's linked, and they lead by whoever runs the tribe. And this guy wanted us to help go in there and steal this object, and also find this little boy. We don't know why the little boy was important. That was never confirmed or denied in my brain, but we also had to find the little boy and recover him. And it's very hard to sneak in a place when everyone's mind linked. And I found it very particular. And so I said, I'm not doing it. And so I simply linked my two friends, turned them invisible, and said, you know what? You got this. And I pushed them inside because I don't sneak. So I hope you have the power to turn invisible and telepathically link yourselves because I'm doing that same thing to you. So grab your friends and let's go. And he waves his hand through the screen. All are teleported to our map. And you see that you're standing outside in this big jungle-covered area in front of this gate. It's a dark, late night. It's fully grassy. It's Servius Pyrrrhos is nothing like you've seen before. You've almost always been underwater. Achk, it looks really familiar to you. Everyone else, it kind of feels pretty familiar to, but it's a very basic, grassland. It's elevated of sorts, and there are some wooden structures. It looks like some sort of fort is being built. It is some sort of fort, and you know that it is the fort of the bugbears. You are all being sent inside to retrieve the iridescent scale of judgment that is somewhere hidden inside this building / fort. You don't know where it is, and you've also been sent to find a little boy. You don't know what he looks like, but there's a small child in there and a magic item, and you've been tasked to go in there. Extra updates, you'll be penalized for killing anyone for points. Bonus, you'll be given extra points if you can get through this with extreme flair. Impress the gods and show what you can do. Let's see why they picked you, champions. And some of the song goes, let the games begin, and of course may the odds be ever in your chances? I'm working on it. And you guys all sit outside of this fort. You all stand next to each other and you're like, what do I do? And there you go. You begin.
What is this green stuff growing out of the ground?
That is life itself.
That's what one.
You said life? That's life?
That's yes.
Live.
One of its many forms, of course. It's growing slowly against the turmoil of time. The sun, its brilliance shines.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, moving on. This fort. Any ideas?
What is the time of day, Michael?
What was that?
What is the time of day?
It is nighttime, so it's a little dark outside.
Okay.
Wonderful.
A lot of dark. It's dark outside.
Cool.
And it's raining. Low rain. Not heavy rain, but it's a light rain.
Mm-hmm.
So if Elias can spend some time looking around, he will examine the gate. So we're right in front of this gate or this fort, correct?
It's a gate, yeah. There's a gate.
So,
two pillars next to it.
Okay. I'm going to wrap around to one of the sides and just get a gauge on how deep this kind of trench is, where this bridge is. See if I can spot anything, how deep this goes.
Yeah, you're coming down to the bottom. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Down this way?
Where am I? Yes, I'm gonna loop around here, if that's wherever 30 feet is.
Also, hey audience, look, we got 2 new figures out here. Whoa! Oh!
There.
As you walk around, you note that there's a gap that is about 65 feet down. It's not all like a straight drop. As you can see, there's some breaks and stuff here, so you could make your way down if you wanted to. But then this seems like it's a little higher. This bridge is a little slanted. This is a little higher over here, about 70 feet up. If you were to try to attempt to climb up this side, but 65 down this way, about 70 up on this side.
I am going to walk back to the group after and kind of relay that information to the group so we all know what kind of trench we're dealing with. I'm not sure if there's another way around or if we just barge in. How are we on stealth? We're not supposed to kill anyone, right?
What is stealth?
I do not stealth.
I can be invisible if we need.
Invisible is great. I can also turn invisible.
I can also create silence, an orb of silence that surrounds us.
Oh, wonderful.
A little scary.
I can make lots of noise.
I am made of light.
Right, that complicates things a bit.
I say we go get guns a-blazing and fire our way through, murdering. Oh, we can't murder anyone.
That's right.
I mean, I'm all for the idea. I'm not killing anyone anyway, so you would lose the points, and honestly, that would help me a lot. So if you'd like to, that sounds great.
Guys.
At non-lethal damage.
I mean, I guess you could knock them out, or charm them. I have a little bit of powers from the Feywild. I can charm people or make them friendly, at least for a little bit.
Nice.
I can make pastries.
You can make pastries.
Special pastries?
Maybe. Like, with a glaze?
I meant magical, but
No.
that's okay too.
Maybe. I have a few on hand.
It may be a nice distraction.
Potentially. Fair enough. Well, shall we scope out the place? Figure out our point of entry? Any way to go?
Guys.
Sounds like a plan.
Do we just need a scheme?
Or a plan, yes.
One
How
of
are
the two,
you at
ideally.
lying?
Decent. You just want to walk in there.
Let's just walk in there and say we're caterers.
What is a caterer?
We just
Not
are people
important.
that bring food.
This is a great idea.
Look.
Yes, you're good at
I like it.
talking.
Look at these tarts, Alias. Do you think they would turn these down? Do you think my cooking is bad enough?
No, those are the best fucking pastries I've seen in a long
This will
time.
get-
Actually, the wonderful pastries. The best tasting I've had
Very good.
ever.
Everyone, grab some pastries. Pretend to be carrying them in.
And if it all goes wrong, the gorilla could kill him.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'll work.
You like to kill, right?
The problem, if we kill one of them, others might hear. And then the jig is up.
We kill
Right.
them and say, shh.
We can kill silently. I can create that orb of silence for up to 10 minutes.
Right.
I'm gonna
You
go
think
over
that'll
and
be
knock on the
fine?
gate.
Gonna go knock on the gate.
Yeah.
Just knock on it. Okay.
Yeah, he started. Dusty.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
What is everyone else doing as Dusty approaches the gate to knock on it? Mid planning, everyone's like talking, and Dusty's like, just gonna go. The turtle walks through, and he's like, anyone doing anything to stop him or anything like that?
No.
Are you sure this is a good idea? No, I'm dusting myself off.
We will
And
You
standing behind him.
I'm going to cast invisibility on myself.
cool.
Cast invisibility on yourself. Okay, great. Scott, can we get a little dot or something on this winged boy over here? Green's invisible. Anyone else doing anything? Someone else mentioned they could turn invisible. Are you taking that precaution, or are you just?
No, so go for it, Ukak.
I think I'm just gonna stand behind Dusty and sort of like act all like tough and gruff and sort of try to act like a like bodyguard of sorts.
Zadkiel is going to see Ugok do this and kind of try to imitate him. He's going to ready his right arm into a cannon, but keep it just at its side.
Yeah, I have no weapons out at the moment.
Servius, as he's walking up, if we get into combat wherever you went, you're invisible.
I'll get behind you.
That cone of silence might be really necessary, or that sphere, the second we get into combat. And with that, Elias is gonna stand right behind Cuppkake, just ready to intercept anything that happens at the door. But I'm letting him knock on the door.
Okay. So you be behind Ukak, who's behind Cuppkake.
Heard.
Gotcha.
As long as I can worm my way into the door, whatever best possible position that would be.
Yeah, you can be behind them, and you'll be able to see the door. You need to take a moment to get in there. You should be fine.
Okay.
I walk up beside the door while we're still waiting. I'm just going to.
It's invisible.
Yes.
Right, perfect. All right, yeah, you. And there's a moment of silence. A moment of silence. A moment of silence.
Knock again.
Just give it a minute. Maybe somebody will.
I don't knock again.
Respectable.
Oh, wait, shh.
And then you hear a small creak. Who goes there?
Hello! You have been visited by the traveling catering bakers.
Traveling catering bakers.
That's
Free food. We love to share. We have many talents, and we had some extra cupcakes, so we thought we'd bring them, sir. And I kind of weasel my way in and just try to give him a handshake, and I'm gonna try and cast Charm Person on this motherfucker.
And he's like, oh, great, oh. All right, what does he need to
A
roll?
Wisdom saving throw.
He's gonna have to make that disadvantage. He's within 30 feet of me, which means he smells my sweet scent.
Oh,
Alright.
yes, teamwork.
Disadvantage on charms.
Yes. Oh, this is gonna go splendidly.
Great, he rolled an 11.
Nope.
So,
These pastries are wonderful. A try?
I like pastries.
I like.
I'll
You
try
should
pastry.
meet my friend, Cuppkake. He's a man of his craft. Truly, a masterpiece. Hey, Cuppkake, show him the selections.
Haha, we've brought a spread. Cupcakes, baklava, tarts, strudels. It's not actually strudel. Yeah, take your pick.
A pastry. And he reaches in and he grabs just one. He's like, and it's a baklava, and he's like,
As he's eating the pastry, can I see over his shoulder to see if, get a clock on what's behind him?
give me an investigation check. You can have the help action. You have all your friends there.
Is help just advantage there, or?
Yeah, disadvantage.
Pardon. Investigation is... that's better with the advantage. That is 19.
Yeah, you can see that there is you kind of squeeze, as you're doing all this, like, talking and whatnot, you're moving around him because you're trying to scan the area. And you see there's one more guy. My head is just... There it is. There's one more bugbear behind him, and then there's another gate behind that guy. And this is just
Do
a
I
bridge.
see any sentries or outposts on the inner wall?
Can we reveal just this?
If that's even visible from my current point.
Perfect. Yeah, you see that there are two archers who sit one on top each of these posts here, and they are, looking down at this stuff, watching this interaction happening. That's what you can make out. So you see that there's a guy on the bridge that protects a gate, and you see this is just like a bridge. Your door is like a gate protecting this bridge, and then like there's another gate that is inside the actual fort.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful, Fred.
And he eats the
Which?
baklava, and he's like, actually, this pastry is delicious. And he looks back and he goes, try this pastry. And the one who's behind him starts to advance forward to come try this.
Hey, Cuppkake, how many pastries do you have?
I'm not really supposed to tell you this because it's a trade secret, but I have like months of cupcakes packed in a bag.
Perfect.
Is this sanitary?
No, but they're not magic either, so
There we go.
A give and take, really. Wonderful. Good sir. What is your name? And I'm directing back to the. Is it what's the race of this individual in front of me?
They're both bugbears.
Bugbears. My wonderful friend. We're here to just simple merchants trying to trade here. We just thought maybe you could see if any of your other friends would like any pastries. Let us in and give us a tour. We are appreciators of interior design.
They kind of look at each other. The first one who ate the block of lava is like, pastry, try. And he gives it to the other guy, and the guy's like, and he takes a bite of it and he goes, oh, it's so sweet.
Yes.
Squishy, like people. Oh,
that's
good.
exactly what I'm going for.
Share with friends.
Yes.
More pastry.
Yes.
Okay.
More pastries. Cuppkake.
And
Yes.
they smile at you and pastry, and they like it's kind of that scene from Family Guy's like, ooh, cookie. Like he's like trying to get more pastries. Like, oh, you have more. And so the other one starts to the guy who's eating the first one you charmed is eating the pastry.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how long does that charm last?
The charm lasts for an hour.
Perfect. He's eating this pastry. He passes it off, and then he reaches for another one immediately. He's like, pastry, and he just like thinks something different. And he picks up.
I try to stop him and like we must wait. Sharing is caring.
Oh,
You must talk reason with the gorilla.
okay. And they start to escort you towards this front gate here.
I'm gonna slip that bugbear a small hard candy from my pocket, just as like a, don't worry about it.
Oh, thank you. And he takes the hard candy and he puts it in his mouth. Oh, so sweet. You guys can move yourself to follow behind them. As you guys approach this gate, they stand there, and these bugbear look up to the other bugbear, and they're like, they have treats, sweet treats. Open gate, please. And they go, and they kind of look. The two archered bugbear look at each other, and they're like, okay. And these gates start to open in front of you.
Wonderful. I hope you have. I kind of lean over to the party members behind me at this point, or kind of around me, to go. I hope somebody has a plan. Here we go into the lion's den.
And
Right.
these two walk into about here, and they hold up these snacks. They're like, pastries. They taste good. They have snacks. And all these bugbears start to approach you guys. And they're like, what? Very confused, and they're like looking at you. And they're like, and they start to. And you guys can come inside to about here, inside the gate. And they are approaching Dusty, and they're like, cupcakes. And they all stand there, like trying to get these cupcakes or trying to get these pastries from you guys.
I try to like
Wonderful.
out, and I'm like, form line.
Cuppkake steps in front of them. And he's like,
Zadkiel steps up with his like hand cannon. He doesn't really point it at anyone, but he just kind of has it and says, back up, form a line, like the land creature said."
They kind of stare at you when the Achk and Zadkiel start to like be like aggressive towards them, and they start to snarl. Pastries!
Friends, ignore them. We just need a table to put out this delicate and delicious bread of dessert. Direct me to your widest area.
Table. And they kind of turn and they point to what would be their dining room, which is this like fire pit area, which has a bunch of logs. See, all these logs are set up around this fire pit that is currently out because it's nighttime and a little wet outside. But they kind of look that direction and they start to head around and sit on these logs and are like, as if you're like gonna come feed them. They're like, but there's no table or anything. They're just like sitting on these logs.
They're just kind of gathered around. I'm gonna Cuppkake, keep him distracted for as long as possible. And I'm gonna kind of Elias is gonna back up behind the gate again, before casting greater invisibility on himself.
Perfect. Servius, Pyrrrhos, how long does your invisibility last?
Mine lasts for 10 minutes. I was actually about to talk to Elias about doing that exactly. So perfect.
Yep.
You see Elias walk by you and he goes out of sight, and you're like,
I walk back a little bit to like his earshot. Then I'm like, Elias, we need to sneak in. Our objectives are to find a person, right?
Find a small child.
A child, at least. So,
well, we should get on that if we're invisible.
Yes, they're starting to be dragged along to the logs on the north side of the camp. Maybe just
walk right past them because we can.
We can. We're invisible. Easy.
All right. So, I'm gonna go ahead and use. How far can I walk? Right now, or just
full movement speed.
I would say, are we in like initiative order?
You can, just like don't like jump 100 feet. Just like move a dash or a movement every couple of times, so we can just make sure everyone's moving kind of consistently. But you guys can make it to this. If you're trying to get past them and just walk inside.
Yes.
Make it in there. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then that is what I do. Let's go.
Let's go.
Can we get another green dot on our elven friend? And how long does your invisibility last? How long does it
mine only lasts for a minute, so we are rushing.
Look at that clock, girl. You got 60 seconds.
As I'm walking back, as we're about to go like through the gate again, is Zadkiel still standing at the gate there?
Yeah, Zadkiel and Dusty and Ugak are all like right near each other. They were kind of acting as bodyguards, and they're about to head over to.
Wonderful. As I pass by, lads, it might be a rather rapid exit, so get ready. Ready for my signal. Zadkiel, height advantage could be good if things start shooting. And I'm going to keep walking.
Ooh.
I actually have another idea in mind. And Zadkiel was going to go up to Dusky and just whisper in his ear, "How hungry do you think these creatures are?"
I am hungry.
Because I may have something up my sleeve that can keep them distracted for a little bit while our comrades go hunt for the objective. And we can dump all of the cupcakes on them.
I'd reckon very, very hungry.
Very well then. Allow me to handle the distraction, and you and Zadkiel nudges you in your arm, and Zadkiel is going to kind of like fly in front of like this camp right here and just say, "My friends, my name is Zadkiel, righteousness of the supreme deity, and I come bearing a gift, a feast if some will. Gather around and prepare to gorge." And Zadkiel is going to like open his wings and just stretch his arms out completely in a white light, and he's going to cast Hero's Feast, and this large table is just going to like come out of his body and just lay right in front of like the camp, filled with some of the most beautiful foods that anyone's ever seen. Chicken, goat, dragon, alpaca, anything that these bugbears could have ever wanted, and it's just all laid out right in front of them. And Zadkiel is going to say, "A gift from the supreme deity! Feast, my friends! Feast!"
So
Yes, the Supreme Deity's good
this
for something.
So Zadkiel starts casting this spell. This spell does take 10 minutes to cast. So by the time this feast finishes, we'll have a two visible people. So this is being cast. He's giving this speech and he's making this proclamation. And as he's doing it, this light is illuminating all this area, and this fire it's relit, and you see these like little engine machines kind of like come out of it and start to build this table, and then this table starts to rotate and starts to build this food. But that all takes a process of 10 minutes. While that's happening, you are still giving out these pastries, and you boys are about to head inside. So we're gonna jump to you guys heading inside while this summoning is happening. And so these bugbears outside are like in this spectacle of like, oh my god, what's going on in front of us? It's just absolutely wild. Also, we have cupcakes. Okay, so they're getting dinner in the show right now, and they're like, this is so cool. So these guys are outside distracted. So that was going to take up the actions of Dusty and Zadkiel. Achk, you're there, and you're welcome to throw what you're doing, but those two will be physically doing those things, so they can't like have extra actions because it's going to take you 2 minutes to cast a whole spell. So just for time economy. But Achk, if you want to do something out there while these bugbears are doing anything, absolutely let me know.
I don't think that there's anything I could do. I think that Achk would just like. I don't think he's very much of a big liar, so he's gonna truth as much as he can, and just like be protective over our chef.
Do you in this honesty path you're going? Do you mention that you're looking for? Do you mention the item or the child you're looking for when you're like standing here? Like, do you try to make conversation with them to get anything out of them, or you just kind of keep your distance?
I think I would just listen, maybe. I don't think that I would necessarily say anything. He's not much of a conversationalist. He doesn't talk very much. But I think that he would just observe and try to see what sort of information he can get out of that.
Gotcha. All right, so we got the two Invisibros, Servius, Pyrrrhos, and Alias. You step forward through this. You step up this rampway, and you see that there is a sort of. This is like a little house hut of some sort. It's built up walls, and you see there are guards and bugbear all around it. They're all standing around, posted up around this house fort of some sort. And then there's kind of a tower here, and you can't really see anything up there, but you assume that there are some people up there. And this side doesn't have a tower, but you can see that there is a walk/railway built for looking out over this stuff. And so you head up this ramp, and your timer's on, baby.
Timer's on.
Question: the hut over there, does it have like walls, or can you just like see right into it?
No, it's fully walled.
Okay, cool. Or in a whisper, then. All right, Alias. First things first. Let's get out of their line of sight.
Right. Of course.
Let's run.
Let's run. Which direction do you want to go? South? I don't know where the little girl would be, is the only problem.
Into the hut. You've got like 30 seconds.
That's fair. And I start running immediately into the closest hut I can find, like enclosed space I can find.
The only space that is on this side is this like giant building hut, but there's a door that is not open. You can run up to the door and try to open it.
Right. I'm going to very cautiously, but kind of with a little pep in my step, kind of tiptoe around those guards there. If I can cast in this time frame Mage Hand, does it look like a table? It looks like there's some table and chairs there.
Yeah, there's a little sitting area, like a lobby.
If I can cast as I'm walking Mage Hand, and have that Mage Hand essentially chairs like under 10 pounds, right? Ruff, would you say?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that the Mage Hand grabs a chair and kind of like, I would like to say it throws the chair, but like it's probably not that strong, so it probably like tips the chair over.
You need a spell casting check. Like make a spell attack with it.
Of course.
Let me know what happens.
Oh, off the table. There it is. Not so great on the die. What's the bonus here? What's the bonus here? 18 with the bonus.
Not bad. Okay,
Not bad. Now that I have a +9, it's okay.
Yeah. So you mage hand. You head towards this house hut. The door is right here, and you mage hand. You send a mage hand over to. Also, your mage hand is fully visible. So I also want a sleight of hand check to see if you can like.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's
be like,
fair.
Magic hand.
That's fair. I guess it is indeed visible. Let's see. Please don't fuck me. Oh, hey. Sleight of hand. What's my bonus on that? 21.
Perfect. So you are running towards this door. You like throw your wrist like and using your card cheat tricks. You throw this hand out like you've done before, and you grab the bottom of a chair and you pull it, and it drops over. And these three bugbear, oh wrong thingy. These three bugbear all look over at it and start to head towards it to investigate. This bugbear, however, does move as well, but it moves only to right here. So it's standing in front of those things investigating. These have all walked up on the ramp and are looking at this table.
Okay, and the door is adjacent to the tables there, correct? That we're looking at?
Right here.
Right there. Okay, then I'm going to, in that distraction time, try the door handle on the door, see if it opens.
Yeah, you run up to the door, and it's locked.
Naturally, of course.
15 seconds.
15 seconds. Right. Perfect. I don't know what to do. I'm going to.
Pyrrrhos, you see that door. You see the mage hand. You hear him like kind of like whispering to himself, and you see that he like throws some energy happens, and this chair falls over. You assume it's him. You see the door handle jiggle, and you know it's locked. Do you have anything that you want to help to do anything for him?
There's not many spells I can do because my invisibility is a concentration.
That is true.
So
you do note that over here is this is under this bridge area that is darkened. You guys could, if you're looking for a place to hide, there are other options besides trying to go inside this building. There's an under bridge area here if you're looking for like a short respite. But you probably couldn't be like, I'm gonna hide here out overnight.
Right.
But it's under a bridge and you're like, no one's looking here.
Okay.
Looking around, are the how many of these guys that are on the walls, how visible are they from my position?
The front walls or the back walls? Like
kind of in general. Can I like like those guys there and like the guys up top? Am I kind of hidden from view?
From where you're standing now?
Yes. Like
this guy can see you. You're behind this guy, but if he turned around, he can see you. You're behind this guy, but if he turned around, he can see you. This guy is not looking in your direction at all. And these guys are all looking off this way. This guy is looking off into this dark, uncleared area of the map. And this guy's also looking into the dark, uncleared area of the map.
Okay.
I run up to Alias and I'm like, I'm gonna move my character. She's like, all right, listen, over there, under that bridge, you should be able to hide while your invisibility wears off and we figure out what to do with this door.
Heard. And doors, the blasted doors. I'm going to sprint with whatever time I've got left, just running and like if I have to, diving underneath the bridge there to get out of sight.
Make me a give me an acrobatics as you're like you're trying to like try to see how fast you can get over there. Servius Pyrrrhos is walking behind you. He's like
walking casually.
He's like, I got time.
Casual about it.
Like I'm still trying to be kind of quiet, but like if I sense that it's getting a little close, I'm gonna like jump for it. Acrobatics. This is makeup for last session where I couldn't roll above a 10. That is a natural 20. We are okay.
Perfect. Yeah, you run in there. You got that. You're high kneeing through the rain, and you slide under. And right as you hit that shadow, your invisibility comes off, and Servius Pyrrrhos is standing right next to you. Probably still in the rain. He likes the water. Probably still in the rain. Like,
oh, absolutely. It's very good for my skin.
Moisturizing, of course.
And now from this position, you can only see the back of this guy, and the back of this guy. And I think who you have line of sight of.
Okay. Here's the thing. Yes. I don't know what's do, I could potentially get inside. I can kind of blink. If there's anybody inside, I'm fucked. But I could get inside.
Well, you see,
Do you have any lock picking?
there's no lock picking. However, I do have an arcane gate that could just warp us inside.
Oh?
I'd have to take off my invisibility, so if there's anyone in there, we're both fucked. But we can try it.
We could try. Right. This is a rather interesting pickle. How do you think the others are faring right now? Probably not. Maybe good.
They're alright. Those pastries are so goddamn good.
Honestly, I don't know what he puts in it. It tastes like home. It's just probably an excessive amount of sugar.
I've never had a cupcake like that before. It really put me on my ass.
It's fine. Maybe they'll fall into a food coma. You know, you never know.
I'm talking about this. Let's make a plan. All right.
And as you're talking about those cupcakes, we do cut over to see Cuppkake is still handing out these pastries. These bugbears are like hungry toddlers. They're like, I want snacks literally all the time. When mine's done, why don't I have more in my hand? And he's like, it's like a normal day at the shop. He's like, I got so many of these things. Ukak kind of keeps like bucking at them like they're gonna get rowdy, but Dusty's like, no, it's okay. And he's like, he's kind of like that jolly Santa guy. He's like, no, not absolutely. Here's another baklava. I'm so sorry. Here's two because he was a little worked up. And Zadkiel is giving this whole like, he's still, no one's really listening, but he's still giving this whole, I am righteous Zadkiel, and he's giving this whole speech, and this table is still assembling itself, and like food is starting to appear on it, and you see that some of these bugbear will reach over and grab a thing off the table that is before it's done, and he's like, they're just eating it as these machines are like preparing all this food and cooking it. And then we cut back to our, or anything, do you guys, is anything else being added besides what was stated there for you guys on the team pastry side? Like we're in Hell's Kitchen right now, and it's like, what's up?
I can't do anything right now, right? I'm still casting the spell,
yeah,
right?
you can still talk shit, but that's about all you got.
Okay, yeah, so...
No more magic.
I'm just gonna keep spreading the propaganda of the supreme deity.
Yeah, give me a charisma, give me a persuasion. Like how much, how are they buying the shit you're selling?
Wait, hold on. Okay, let me do math.
They have been eating all these fun candies. You can add an advantage if it makes you feel better.
No, I got a 17 as a base roll. So
okay, great. We love it. So yeah, you see some of the bugbear. They're having a pretty good day. They're like, damn, I wasn't doing nothing. Now I got snacks. I got a big show in front of me. This dude's talking about something that sounds kind of cool. Lots of big words are involved that I don't know, like Zadkiel and righteous and God. But like, it's all like, I love the energy he's giving me. He seems like he really buys what he's selling. And again, these do taste like home. And they're like eating all this stuff. Ukak, can you give me a intimidation?
Yeah, for sure. It's at 24.
Oh yeah, you see these bugbear are as they're making their rotations to this line. They come back every time more militant and controlled, and you're like less worried about them. They seem to see you and be like, oh, that do mean business, and I'm not trying to. He got big arms, and I don't have to deal with that later. And so they seem to be really admiring this big man, this BDE you got. They're like, okay, I see what's happening here. I respect what you're putting down, homie. And they're very calm. And they seem to have almost a respect for you. They're like, you're nice.
Wonderful.
They vibe with you. Dusty, anything you want to do with any pastry, witchcraft, or magics?
I was wondering if I could ask one of the nearest bugbears where the bathroom is.
Yeah, and it kind of looks at you as it's coming up for another cupcake, and it goes, anywhere that's ground. It's funny.
Thank you. Wow. They're so free and bold here. I wish I could have lived like this sooner.
Sometimes I like to go outside the gate and pee off the cliff.
I just might do that. And I'm gonna hand my pastries off to Achk and say, "Hey, can you keep passing these out to people?
Yes.
Smile,
Why-
What should I give out?
all of them."
Okay.
While Lukak is doing that, Zadkiel, in the middle of his speech, is going to get little phrases of, "And the righteous of the supreme deity, Ukak, leave me 3 cupcakes at my feet, shall forever feed you for all time." As he's still doing his thing.
Okay. I sort of like sidestep over and leave like 2 cupcakes, and I'm like, we need more from others.
Oh, please, one more.
I will break one in half. I am hungry myself. So I break one in
Okay,
half.
I will take it.
Pop it.
The supreme deity, anyways, will cure you of your blights, and I am, for the first time, running out of things to say. Hurry up, table! Supreme deity, light and energy!
Just feeding it into the light orb head that is Zadkiel, and like just disintegrating into it. And you're like, I hope you like this. Is this working for you? Dusty, where are you swinging off to?
I'm gonna go swing off outside the gate, and I'm gonna pee off the cliff.
Okay, yeah.
You were just asking for the bathroom.
Yeah.
You hit
Quick
those-
question.
hit those things. Yep.
Which way are these guards looking?
Those guys are looking at this feast that's happening that they kind of weren't invited to, and they're kind of like sad about it. They're like, "Dang, I gotta work patrol while they're having a cake party. That's not fair." But they're kind of like watching this like feast being built and all this spectacle is happening because Zadkiel is shining this bright light. Everyone's currently looking. Everyone in this side, these guys up here, this guy down here, they're all looking at this feast that is being. It's truly a performance. Like it's a dark and rainy night, and he's like shining all this light. The rain is like disintegrating or like is evaporating and turning into like almost a smoke. So it's like got this like cool misty aura as these mechanical things are crawling out of the fire, building this table, and you're like giving out all these fruits or giving fruits. LOL, giving out all these pastries.
So could I summon? Let's call him Powder. Under the bridge.
Yes, 65 feet down.
Yes.
You're 70 feet down. Sorry. Yes, you can. You reach out, and a white wisp of cream and energy starts to form from you, from the rain, from the ground around you, and a pastry known as powder. What does powder look like?
Powder looks exactly like all of the other brothers he's had. Just a large, hulking, semi-humanoid figure. Doesn't really have fully articulate hands, more like scoops. He's just a swirling mass of sucrose crystals. Just constantly shifting. And he has a much more of a hunch than any of his others. He looks a bit sad.
It's kind of raining, so he probably is sad. He's like,
And I'm just gonna, like, while I'm peeing, gonna lean over the bridge and go, Powder! Wait 10 minutes! And then do something crazy. And I'm gonna go on back inside.
Okay, great. Scott, can we get a white swirling I hate saying these words. Swirling mask formed from Cuppkake's urine and rain that it forms at the bottom of this bridge. And in 10 minutes, it's going to do some buck wild stuff. Or it's going to try to do some buck wild stuff. Who knows? But it's currently a troll under the bridge. Perfect. We jump back to our friend Servius Pyrrrhos, who is still invisible. You've got plenty of time, and our friend Alias, who just smoothly got that nat 20 slide into there. It's kind of looking around. You see that, again, just this guy you have line of sight of. This guy, they're kind of still, you see that they seem to be like kind of calming down a little bit, but they still have their eyes on the chair like, what the fuck made that chair fall over? It ain't that windy out here. So they're kind of like, what? But you note that they are very easily distracted. And from your conversations with them earlier, they probably aren't that smart, it seems. Or at least maybe all of them aren't that smart. They're easily distracted or, ADHD. They're like, what? So yes.
Okay.
I've got a couple of ideas.
Right.
So-
Spit.
So, can you lockpick?
No. I could teleport in. And I'm assuming from the inside it'd be easier to open the door.
I assume. However, I can only use the teleportal once. And I'm thinking maybe that could be a good escape route. Now,
Ooh.
notice the red tint in the first area of the camp.
Yes. Yes. I saw that on the way in. I was wondering if potentially if the child has not been here, she could be back in the tent, potentially.
Right.
We should probably have sent someone to check that out, but oh well.
Out,
We could check
but-
that out. It's fine.
Here's the thing. I was also thinking I can use a spell to dominate a person or one of these bugbears, and I could ask him politely to just open the door.
Very fair. The problem is getting him without the others noticing.
Correct. That is the
If-
big flaw.
Can you send... Is there any
Currently
way you can
invisible.
send, like, a message, perchance? Never mind. If nothing's coming to mind. Never mind.
Dreams. I could dreamwalk and put a subtle idea in his head.
That's terrifying. Please never do that to me. That's
Well-
not what I was asking. That's okay. Never mind. Wonderful. I was thinking I have options if they're grouped together. I can get them to potentially fall asleep. You know, make them have pleasant dreams. But they have to be closely grouped together for that to work.
I see. Maybe if I run over here towards the bridge, or towards the ramp, and make a commotion while still invisible, I can get them all in the same area. And then you
Do
could
you
put
have?
them...
Do you have means of setting fire?
I do.
That red tent looks awfully flammable. Make sure nobody's inside first. That would be murder. But
I understand.
if
Okay, I'll go check out the red tent and we'll go from there.
maybe see if you can bring somebody along with you. That's down there.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start walking over to the red tent. I look and I see that everyone else is kind of busy doing their thing, except Dusty, who just went off to take a leak.
You see Dusty like walking back in.
Yeah.
Oh, they doing nothing,
I'm just wondering, I can't really make him invisible, so unless he can charismatically walk his way into this tent, I'm just going to go ahead and peek my head in.
Yeah, make me a perception or investigation. You can get a quick look with perception, or you can get a detailed look with an investigation.
I'm gonna do investigation because that's got a higher modifier for me, and it's gonna be 15.
You kind of look around in there, and it seems like it's full of weapons and gear. There are some cots in there. There seems to be some things like on the cots, and you're pretty sure one of them is like a person. Like you look like there's someone sleeping in one of these cots, or like laying down in one of these cots.
All
It looks
right.
like a barracks like chamber.
Is there any weapons or items specifically that stick out, or is it just all a bunch of gear? Is this just their barracks where they're just chilling?
Yeah, it's just their barracks. It's like a rack of like javelins, a rack of maces, some armor that they wear. Some of it's missing, and it's like not in there. There's a couple pieces on there. It looks like it's like a hang up rack.
Okay, nothing important then. I'm gonna walk around behind the tent so I can turn uninvisible while I do this cantrip. I'm going to use Sacred Flame and just start the tent on fire. I can roll for that.
Yeah, it's yeah. Give me a spell attack. It's radiant. It's a saving throw, so it'll be
Gotcha.
ritual. You can roll because I want to see how effective it is. Roll at disadvantage because it is raining. So starting
Right.
fire, though it is magic, so like you could outdo it.
With
So,
disadvantage, it's 18.
yeah, you get this part of the tent right over here. It cinches and it
Cool.
catches fire. And
Yes, all right. Oh shit! Now I'm like visible.
yeah, you kind of like as you reach your hand out and you kind of like it's like the magnifying glass trick, but you like pull water and you flatten it out and then you like can use the reflections of it to heat it up using all your like weird water powers and like you just heat up the water and it like uses like a little magnifying glass and it lights that tent on fire for you.
All right.
This soldier up here on this tent, or not on this tent, on the wall beside the tent here, is he facing? Yeah, that guy right there. Is he facing out here?
No, he's also looking
At the feet.
Yeah. But
Oh boy.
he currently doesn't see the fire. But he is looking like at the spectacle.
Well, I got 3 second level spell slots. Screw it! I'm gonna turn invisible again.
Yeah.
You cause that fire, you heat it up, you pull that water back around you, you're like, and back to being invisible. And you are re-invisible.
All right,
And this
then
is slowly starting to burn.
while that starts to burn, I'll just run back to Alias and let him know the plan went swell.
Wonderful. Is there fire happening?
Oh, the fire's happening.
Oh, wonderful. Now, I'm sure the others will notice.
Give it time.
Give it time. Give it time. And I think have you ever played poker before?
I've poked people with a sword before.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. You'll enjoy it. Do you have any money on you by chance?
I have some gold, yes.
Wonderful. I'll steal it all. And I pull out while we wait for this fire to catch. I pull out my deck of cards and start teaching him the basics of poker for maybe a minute, 60 seconds.
Very
tops.
fun.
Yeah, you start to wait for this fire to happen, and you hit that 60-second mark, and you can, because you're looking for it, you can kind of smell it. You can see where it's coming from. You also still see the light of Zadkiel and this show that is happening with his magic. But you note that Servius can confirm that that it is on fire and it's going. But that first minute is kind of slow starting, and then
Building.
And then another minute passes, and at this point you're just you playing the Prince of Pyrrrhos for his money. He is you're like, this is how you play cards. You're just teaching him all the wrong way until he only loses, as you always do, because
I don't
you are.
understand. You said I had a royal flush. It's a 2, a 7, a 6, and a 8. I thought that was good.
My apologies. I sometimes I don't remember the exact card order, but it's a very important game that I'm sure will takes time to grasp. Of course, any more money you wish to put on the table?
It's alright. A lot of money.
As that card game goes on under the bridge, Zadkiel is almost at the very end of his spell. He's wrapping it up. Achk stands guard. These guys are still they have not stopped. They have been going through this rotation. They're eating you had 3 months worth. You're down. You're getting you're noticing a dent. You're like, wow, these guys can eat, which is also interesting. Make an insight check. Yeah. Oh yeah. You, Mr. Dusty. I'm so sorry.
That's
also
a
making
nat 20.
Okay, right. you're. I was when rolling that 20s. I don't like when it's against me.
Make up for last week.
That's a 19.
Great. You note that you're they're eating so much, and then you're like, oh, this is fully a hologram. They're not gonna stop eating. They're just gonna keep eating all my food. This makes sense. But also you're it's working. So they seem to be they have no appetite, they have an endless appetite, so they're down to keep eating stuff until they have something else to do. Zadkiel, you kind of clap your hands and finish. Your light dims, and this table sits in front of you, full of all these magnificent foods, and these bugbears absolutely start to ravish it. They are jumping all over it. At this point, these guards who are up here, these guys start to come down, And they're like, oh, I'm not. They're like, I'm done missing out on the fun. I missed the cakes. I'm not missing the pork roast and the collard greens. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Fuck this job. And so they start heading down. And then, as they all start to gather around this table and they're eating, two things happen. One, everyone needs to make a perception check. Who is down here?
Oh no!
You guys need to make a perception check for Juan.
17.
13.
17, 13.
17.
Boom. 17 notices, and Dusty, you recognize what's happening because you said, "Hey, in 10 minutes, get buck wild." You hear a like thumping noise. It sounds like your this crystal thing is making some sort of noise outside. It is hitting the bottom of this bridge, and it's like shaking stuff, and it's making things rattle, and it's causing like some structural stuff to happen, and it's making a bunch of noise outside. And then Servius, Pyrrrhos, and Alias, I also need you to make a perception check. The tops and the bottoms.
Oh, it was so close to a natural 20. Instead, that's a 2. Plus what? Plus what trick are we making? Perception.
Yes.
Where's my perception? Okay. A total of 8.
Beautiful. 8 and Pyrrrhos.
8 and 12.
Magical. Pyrrrhos, you're looking that way. You're kind of really confused why you're losing at this game. You're like, I'm playing the rules as written, though they keep changing, but I'm pretty sure I'm following what's going on here.
Doing my best.
Alias is full cleaning you out of house, and then you hear this guy over here yell, "There's a fire!" And all these guys, boop, boop, these dudes, and this guy, they all like go on alert. All these guys up here start looking around, and they're like, "Fire!" And they note that this tent is on fire, and these three and this guy head down to the red tent. The others go on alert, and they're like standing. These 4 guys stay up where they're at. They're kind of looking down intently at it. This guy moves down to here. He's moving around to get a different angle. He's kind of paying attention to this food. He's like, I'm trying to sneak down here. I get that. This guy replaces him up here, and this guy stays where he's at. And
Wonderful.
yeah, so all that happens right at that 10-minute mark. Powder starts to make a ruckus outside that middle gate, and then the fire set by Pyrrrhos and Alias ignites and starts to smoke and cause a big hocus pocus. What? I don't know why I said that. Starts to cause a big ruckus, and
Yep.
you see all this happening. What would you guys like to do?
Cool.
Right.
We'll start with the guys who are at the bottom. So we'll start with Zadkiel. Actually, we'll start at the top. We'll work our way down since you guys are up here. We'll start with Servius, Pyrrrhos, and Alias. Those guys run down, thing is on fire. What you do? And as you can see, it's growing. It's getting worse. He's having fun there.
It's smoking. It's billowing. Right. We still have one guy in the way.
It's true. We still have a few guards that could see us. This may be our best chance. We could either try to bust the door down, or I could use my one and only gate. And it'll be our only inside, but it may be worth it.
I think it's worth it. I think let's get inside now while they're distracted.
Okay.
Can you get both of us in? Is it a 2-person?
Oh, yes. Yeah, it can fit.
Oh, wonderful. Let's get inside.
Fix though.
You casting Arcane Gate?
Yeah. Am I able to do that? Just a little portal right there from us to inside, or is that too much? Can I not get inside?
Hold on, I'm looking at the spell. Cause I don't know.
I was say, is it a place you can see, or there's the trick?
Yeah, on
yeah.
2 points on the ground that you can see. I can get us right to it. So That's not gonna help.
Maybe we should hold. And when I was checking out the door, was it like, did it have an actual like keyhole on it?
No, it is a wooden door that seems to be blocked in some way.
Okay,
You
I would say
have
it's the.
quickly escape from wherever you are. I can create a mist and squirm away in it, around 30, 45 feet. If you could do the same and then just blow up the door and run away.
I can create a sphere of darkness, if that would help. But the problem is sound. I could potentially try to blast the door with my magic. With this force. But I just don't know that it'd be loud and attract a lot of attention.
Oh, it would, but I think now is our best chance.
Fuck it. And I'm gonna start, like, just ever so casually, walking up, what do I have? Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna walk up, Servius, if you want to start making your way to the door, I'm gonna try something ballsy, so if it doesn't work, it's on you. And I'm gonna walk up, looking at kind of the two guards. I'm gonna try and get as close. Can I get both guards? Walk up. I'm gonna walk up to the guard, kind of coming out a little bit, kind of over his shoulder, and tap the guard closest to us on the shoulder.
This one, like these guys up here.
Yes.
Wait,
What? You'd have to walk up these. You can do that. You just have to walk up this ramp.
I thought you were blowing up the door.
Walk up the ramp to get them. They're both
Here we go.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I'm gonna walk up and trying to keep as far out of sight as the guy on the tower as possible, hoping that he's preoccupied with the fire. I'm gonna walk up. Where's my move marker? I'm gonna walk up right there. And I'm going to charm. I'm going to try and use Fey Presence. So I'm going to walk up. Elias is going to kind of brush himself off. And all right, Servius, here we go.
All right.
I'm going to
move towards
start
the door.
walking.
So you're fully visible walking up the ramp to this guy to tap on the soldier to cast Fey Presence. You need to do touch, right?
Yeah, no. So I just need to be within 10 feet of him. So I'm going to hopefully
So you have the option.
Stay at the bottom of the ramp.
Yeah, if you don't need to touch him or anything, you can do it from under the... If you just need to be within 10 feet of him, you can do it from under... Like, you can walk under here, like, and just be under him, and, like, do it, vertical if you don't need to actually touch him.
Okay.
You just need to be within 10 feet versus walking up the ramp and being like...
Could I potentially get both of them in the 10-foot? Just guessing.
I think if you wanted to get both of them in the 10 foot, then you would have to walk up there. Just because this platform is higher than this one is. So from where you are, you can easily get the guy above you 10 feet. That one, he's gonna be like 15 feet out of you because he's just up another.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna get the first guy, and I'm gonna use my Fey Presence. I'm gonna try to and kind of So as I start to walk up, my eyes start to kind of glow a little white, and the tips of my hair starts to kind of fire a little bit. My skin is currently a dark tan, almost close to amber color, as I'm displaying the passion and energy of summer. And so I start to kind of light up and heat up almost, and this presence and aura emanates from me, not visible necessarily, but I'm going to attempt to charm this bugbear, kind of, because I don't think I even have to say anything. It's just like an aura in a 10-foot cube. So I'm going to try and charge him. So I need a wisdom saving throw.
Absolutely. So you walk up to him and your eyes start to do all that, and you start to smoke, and that is what pulls his attention. He's like, he sees a fire, then he's like, oh my god, what's happening over here? And he's like, oh, and he turns and he's like hit by this like fey mist. He's like, oh my god. But let's see if it's good. He rolled a 13.
No, he is charmed by me.
He's like, oh my god, another fire. Oh.
Friend, it's good to see you. I see there's a fire. Is there any tools? Do you have any keys for that door back there?
Used for door.
Door? No.
Door knock. Code.
There's a code? On the door?
Mm.
Do you know the code?
Yeah.
Mountain Fred, that fire. Do you see the fire right in front of us? It's kind of a pressing issue.
Fire.
Yes.
What do?
If you could give me the code, you should go help your friends. But if you give me the code, I can get in that room and grab some helpful objects for the fire. Put out the fire. Main reason, fire.
Hmm. So is he? So he's just under the effects of a general charm. Is there any more specific words that just want to know how?
So
how
the actual Fey presence,
I'm just like, yeah.
as an action, you can cause a creature in a 10-foot cube make a Wisdom saving throw. The creature fails their saving throw are charmed. So he just has the charmed condition.
So she's just an ally. Okay, great. So he's not super smart. Okay, great. Just wanted to know. So he looks at you and he's like up above you. He's like kind of leaning down. He gets on his hands and knees and and he reaches out and like you like talking to me, like kind of takes your hand and he goes and he taps. And he like taps a little pattern into your hand.
Morse code, of course. If that's the thing in this universe. It is in the Feywild.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Moose code. Oh.
Don't worry. Code for the door. What's the code?
Then he grabs your hand again. He taps on your hand again.
Cool. Right, we're getting a lot of progress. Fire! And I kind of like pull him down, like off of the thing, and go, help your friends.
Oh. And he kind of tumbles down, and he's like, looks at you, and he's like, oh, fire! And he starts to move towards the fire.
Wonderful. And with that, as I walks away, I'm like, fucking hell. Okay. And I come back. Servius, here we go. And I'm gonna throw three Eldritch Blasts at the door.
Just gonna start hitting it.
I'm gonna start hitting it.
Servius is like, all right, what's the plan? And you start attacking him, and he's like,
I heard it say code. What's the code?
He didn't give me a code. He tapped my hand. Do you see a code box on the door?
You could knock on the door.
Good plan.
All right.
As he swings these arcane blasts at you, we cut over to our bottoms half of our team over here. Wow, had to watch those words. The bottom half of our team over here, Ukak, Zadkiel, and Dusty. You hear a bunch of rumbling coming from behind you, and then you turn and you see that this whole tent is caught completely ablaze, and all these bugbear are running down, and they're like, kind of screaming at it. They're like, fire! And just kind of yelling at the tent that it's on fire. Update everyone that the tent is on fire. The bugbear who are eating at this table do not care. They're like, have you seen our food? It's great. They're still eating. The other guys are yelling at the fire about a fire. Your thoughts? Also, your spell has been done and cast. You all are free. Your legs are free to move.
Wonderful.
Fellas, can you help our hungry customers?
I can keep them distracted. I have an idea. I need these 3 cupcakes for the idea.
That makes a lot of sense. Cupcakes are very pivotal in most plans.
Correct. But I think the best course of action here is to not blow our cover, as I've heard people say. Maybe someone should help with the fire to at least make it seem our intentions are pure.
Of course.
Okay.
No one moves.
One of you two do it.
Well,
one of you
did
two
you
do
want
it.
to? I mean, I said it, you said it. I'd feel awkward running off without deciding who's going.
I will go.
Well, that's better for me. Have fun.
And I run off to the fire. Yeah.
Ukak runs to the fire.
Zadkiel is going to, while holding these 3 cupcakes, he's going to cast light on each one of them to make them glow, and then he's going to start attempting to juggle the cupcakes in the air to try to entertain the eating bugbears.
Perfect. Give me a performance check with advantage from the enchanted cupcakes from our arcane pastry baker. Words are hard. just giving out advantage. I'm like, you roll with advantage. You roll with advantage. I love good roleplay. I support it. I want to give advantages.
15.
Perfect. You don't drop them. Like, it's not the work. They haven't seen better. They also would do worse. So they're like, oh my god, I love this day. It's going so well for me.
And while I do it, I want to start like flashing my wings, just like different shades of like, just like almost like a strobe light effect, but more just like subtle, just to kind of like keep them distracted while I'm just juggling in the air. And while I'm doing so, I'm saying, and if with the light of the supreme deity, you could also experience what it's like to know absolute nirvana and bliss. And what else can I say to them, Dusty? I'm running out of script here.
And talk to them about light.
As you're tossing these things, every time you catch one in your hand, one of your 6 wings lights up to like a little bop. You're like, whoop, whoop, just to add a little more flavor to your performance. Ukak, you approach this burning tent. People again are standing around screaming, "Fire! It's on fire!"
Are they doing anything to like put the fire out?
No.
Okay, wonderful. I think that I'm going to try to have them be as non-productive as possible, and have them like just as distracted for as long as possible by focusing all of their efforts on this fire. Yeah. So I'm gonna yell at them. Everyone, calm down. We must put this fire down. Everyone, focus your efforts and insult the fire so that it goes away. And I'm just gonna start shouting at it and try to have others pursue in the same way.
You're gonna hype them up to keep yelling?
I'm sorry?
You're hyping them up to keep yelling at the fire?
Yeah, but instead of being like, oh, there is a fire, like, fire, directing all of that yelling at the fire.
Just changing their intention, like, no more general fire, like, this is the fire.
Yes.
This is the fire. I got it. You're giving them a lesson in I like it. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Roll me a, these are new guys. So roll me a intimidation if you want to boss them into doing it, or persuasion if you want to lead by example. If you want to run up and be like, fire? This is a fire? And they're like, this is a fire!
Okay. Which one did you say that was? You said intimidation and what?
You can do intimidation or persuasion.
Okay, cool. Ooh. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go with persuasion. I would like to go with intimidation, but I think that with his intents, he's just trying to organize. Yeah. And that is a 18. 19 minus 1.
Perfect. Yeah, you start running up, and these guys are going, fire! Fire! And you're like, this is a fire? And they're like, this is a fire! And you're doing that weird Meisner thing where you're like, we all have, I need not go into it, but they're doing that fire repeating exercise, and they're like getting more hyped by it, and they're like, ah! And they're really worked up. And you hear from inside a scream, and we're gonna go to a 10-minute break.
Cool.
So we're gonna jump out real quick, guys. We're gonna go let some bladders get relieved. All the rain ambiance has been a lot for us. So we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break. We'll be back, and we're gonna see how we wrap this up. Let's see what happens next time. So don't run away. And we're back, and it's like no time has passed. If you're watching this video on YouTube and YouTube only, if you're watching on Twitch, you've literally sat there for 10 minutes, and we thank you for that. And we are back with part 2 of episode 2 of Summer Songs Battle of the Gods, where I, Michael Jackson, have brought my friends to play D&D with me. We all went to, I didn't say this earlier, so I'm going to say it now. We all went to college together. We all got degrees in acting, and you know, you're doing that, and I play games online and have a great time, so I love it. But yeah, so we are in a bugbear camp. They have offered a feast. They have summoned a giant trigger creature to cause a ruckus. They have set a giant tent on fire. They have arcane blasted a door, and they are making a scene. There is a scream that was heard from the red tent, and almost simultaneously, Alias was releasing some arcane blasts at the door next to Servius, who he thought the blasts were coming at him, but they were not. They hit around this door. Roll for damage. And
should I roll the hit as well?
It's a door, you got it.
Period.
And Achk, roll me a perception check.
Okay.
That's gonna be 8 damage on the first Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, roll damage for all 3 of them. You cast 3, usually 3, right?
Yeah.
2
that is a 16 on the second.
Mm.
That was max, and another max die. Ow! Another 16 on the third.
Yeah, these are arcane blasts fly by Servius Pyrrrhos, and who's standing almost right in front of the door, and you hear and just kind of crack, and you kind of like do that thing where you like elbow tap it, and the door goes and falls over.
Well, that's one way to do it.
It works. Is
All right.
there anything inside?
I was about to say, I walk inside.
Yeah, make me a perception check. Achk, what was your perception check? I'm jumping all the way across.
My perception check was 21.
Yeah, you hear a unfamiliar voice that seems to be coming from inside this tent. It's not one of your friends. It's some sort of. It doesn't sound as guttural as the voice you've heard. The hey, pastries. Oh, it sounds help, a little more high pitched, slow, high tone, more high tone. But you hear that coming from inside this burning tent.
I shout, "The fire retaliates!" and I run in to try to save them.
It speaks. And yeah, you dash into the fiery tent. Do you just run in the fire tent? Like it's on fire.
I just run into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you raging? You're angry. You're already yelling. I don't think it's gonna help you with damage, but I mean, like, it's flare.
I don't know. Well, the thing about like raging is that like it doesn't last for very long. If I take that, I'll rage. Yeah, why not?
Perfect. You're like, the fire retaliates, and you go into a rage and you full dash into this fire. Make me an investigation check.
Right.
Zadkiel and Dusty, you see that you're now battling the attention of these people who are looking. There's a fire happening. You see a fire's happening. Your eyes are on that. These guys are kind of like eating this stuff, but also like starting to be pulled away from it. Zadkiel is in the air, like giving this whole like show. Are there any spells or tricks you want to use that will kind of grab the attention of these bugbears who are in front of you to keep them from turning their attention to things your party may be doing? You assume the fire is set by your friends. So is anything you want to do or you can do to help?
So while I'm in the air, I kind of notice that that the bugbears are just like trying to pull away. So I'm like, I'm panicking, but I'm not showing it. And so then I decide, like one of the last things I can do, I just start emanating light even more from like the cracks of like my body, and then the light behind like the wings over my face starts emanating, and I cast Beacon of Hope to try to get all of the bugbears like looking at me, and I'm gonna from there and be like, my friends, look at me, I'm shiny. Just like start flowing around in the air. This is what you can get if you embrace the light of the supreme deity, shiny. And while I do this, I'm going to look down at Dusty, and I'm just going to say, you gotta get them out of here before it turns into something more. And I'm gonna start trying to fly towards the gate and see if I can get persuade any of them just to like follow me, to try to go outside of the gate, just to see like what will happen if they follow me. And I'm willing to roll to persuade them.
Let's see what Dusty's doing. Dusty, you see him flying into the air. He starts to swirl around. He casts Beacon of Hope. That makes the food taste better. Beacon of Hope as a spell increases all the healing done to those in the area. Food makes you feel better, makes the food taste better. They are more into this food. It's holding their attention a little more. And then he starts to try to guide them like sheep, meaning like they're like, oh, I like food, meaning like, okay, like, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy. They're trying to get them to follow you guys. Is there anything you want to do to help with that? You also know that you have Powder outside who's making a bunch of ruckus, which you can also hear.
I'm gonna look over at Zadkiel and think to myself like, huh, he's on to something. And shout out, hey, friends! What's all this dinner and a show without an outdoor wine mixer? And I'm gonna pull out two of my bottles of Dusty's Galu's homemade brew. It's a nice Italian sweet dessert wine. It pairs perfectly with cookies, cakes, and everything in between. And then I'm going to hope to entice them with alcohol towards the gate as well.
Yeah. Roll me one of you can roll me with a persuasion. The other can give the help action. So one of you will have advantage. Whoever has the highest is welcome to roll. If you wanted to figure that out, I don't know who does.
Got a pretty good persuasion on me.
Honestly, go for it. I mean, like, I just rolled a 15. But if you think you can get them even more.
A 4.
Dusty pulls out this wine, and they're like,
well, it's a 13 with modifier.
Oh, we love some modifiers. We love witchcraft, okay? he goes, I got some wine. You kind of rip one, and you're like, oh no, and they're like, wine, and they start to like charge at you in a very like not hostile, but also not like non-hurting way. If they were to be reckless, kind of like a stampeding mob running towards free things, and they start to pour towards you and towards that gate. And so they all start to follow you and Zadkiel towards that gate. They're like, oh, wine, ah! And between that and the shiny things, they're like, we love this. What was your perception check inside the house?
It was a 9.
Yours. Okay, 9. You see, it's very cloudy in there, and you are having trouble trying to make things out, but you hear someone making noise, and it's not that big of a spot. You see things have like fallen over, and you can see that one of the it's like a rack or something kind of wriggling, that it's kind of fallen down, but it's kind of like moving about a little bit, and the sound seems to be coming from that area.
Okay. In that case, I try to like grab it and move it.
Yeah, make me an athletics check with advantage because you're raging.
Okay. Let's see.
And you also take 5 points of fire damage.
Okay.
While you're in there.
Okay.
Things are falling. It's burning your fur.
Cool. That is a 28.
Yeah, you pick up and chuck this like maybe like a shield rack or some sort, like was holding some supplies on it. You kind of like pick it up, and even in your fuck fire, and you like chuck this thing, and it like kind of flings out of the tent and kind of lands over here outside. It kind of like rips a hole in the tent and like falls out, and it starts to make this tent deconstruct even more. But you see on the ground is a small bugbear. Looks like it could be a child. You don't know what a bugbear child looks like. It looks cuter than a normal bugbear and a little smaller. So I have reasons to be a child or a girl. You don't really know the difference at this point. But you found a person who was under a thing.
Okay, they're not on fire at all? Like, they're fine?
They are like singed and burned, but they're not like actively burning on fire. The thing on top of them was on fire, and it was hurting them.
Best rescue job ever.
Okay. I think that I'm not gonna communicate with them at all. But I think I'm just gonna like try to like scoop them up and like run out.
Perfect. You scoop that little person up, and you run out of there, and you are standing outside next to one of these other tents. And as that happens, Servius Pyrrrhos, what was your role?
My role was a 13.
You look around, and there's it's dark in there, and then as you're like kind of surveying the room, you see there's like a small, like over here, there's like a small shape, like a like kind of like a weird shimmer effect on something. It seems to be like floating about eye level. You assume it's probably sitting on a pedestal of some sort, and it looks like one of those like meat scales. Like it has like you would like put two things on it. As you like kind of, you can only see it as you're like moving back and forth. You see that the kind of like this outline of this thing sitting on top of the pedestal. It's dark in this room. There's no lights or anything in here, but you see this like, shimmer outline.
Could I just like use arcane fire in my hand to like make a light in the room?
Yeah, you kind of pull the water from outside, pull it into your hand, turns to steam, and then like a little fire appears in your hand, and you see in front of you there's this scale sitting there on this pedestal, and it has this pattern that kind of shimmers around it. The fire in your hand, as it kind of fluctuates and moves, causes the scale itself to like kind of reflect off of that, and it passes through different colors as you're moving your fire around. You're not even moving the fire around, really. You're like, it's moving, and you're like kind of like looking around. Still, you haven't stepped in, but you're like, you see all this happening in front of you.
Rest.
Like,
all right, then I'm just like, that's a cool item. And so I'm just going to walk in and take it. Yeah, I'm gonna take the item.
You walk in and you grab that thing. Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy.
We didn't test for that.
20, not 20.
Whoa! Good rolls tonight.
Yeah, you reach out and you grab it, and you feel this like force come over you, and you're like, and what emotion do you feel in this moment as you grab this chalice? Or as you grab this scale, not a chalice. You grab this scale.
It feels like balanced, but also it's like strong, it's powerful, and it's just, I feel kind of calm with it.
Yeah, as you grab it, you see that it starts to teeter. It was sitting perfectly before you touched it. You grabbed it and it starts to. As you roll that nat 20, it starts to move. But yeah, what feeling? As you grab it, what feeling takes over Servius, Pyrrrhos, and them? You grab it, and he's like, "I got the thing."
That starts freaking me out because that's horrifying. But after a second, just like a wave of calm rushes over me as the scales start to like teeter and like even out.
It's teeter.
Okay, just teetering. I'm a little tense about it. It's strange. But yeah, I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens now. Is it just
Did you anything in there? Are you done?
Alias, you see a fire up, like you see him walk into that room. As you like pelt those arcane bolts from atop that thing, and as you make your way down, back across, because you didn't go up there. You see a glow coming out of that room, and you step up. You see him holding this fire. Where did I come from? This fire. And now he's in one hand holding the scale, and it's teetering. And you witness this, and you see it looks like the most beautiful treasure you've ever seen. When you lay your eyes on it, Alias, you're like, oh, wow. You kind of want it. You're like, that's really cool.
This is phenomenal.
I can only agree. Is it a scale? It seems to be teetering. Is that meaning you're unbalanced or anything? Here, let me try. Maybe it's balanced for me.
I think I should hold on to this until we escape.
You sure?
I'm sure.
When you ask for it, do you reach out and grab it, or do you just reach out for it?
I'm gonna reach out. Like I offer my hand. I'm not gonna try and forcefully take it from him yet. But like I'm getting a little agitated.
No. I'll hold on to this.
If you'll see my eyes flare up as I use one of my Eldritch invocations to cast Detect Magic at will, to see if anything lights up.
Yeah, the scale lights up. Servius Pyrrrhos lights up. You light up.
Heard. So you just see my eyes kind of glow like a fire, like almost like a firelight.
Creepy.
You sure you can't I would love that scale, actually, if you would hand it over, please.
The last time you looked at this man, he had hurled some arcane bolts at you, and you were like, okay. And then he comes down, and he's like, I want that scale. Weird
just for a
eyes.
second, hold it. It's shiny.
If you give it right back.
I promise, of course.
All right.
Okay. And I extend my fist.
Ice in my hands.
It does. Well, hold on. You only entered the room. You should get the prize for finding the girl. The girl is important here. Do you see the girl? Did you see her?
No, this was all that was in there.
It's all that's in here. Can I look around, DM?
Fine.
Can I see if I see anything else?
Step inside and you make a perception check or an investigation, if you like.
Okay, not so good. Which one is the bigger bonus? I'm gonna make I'm just looking around. So that is a 12 on perception.
Yeah, you don't see anything else in here, and even with the supported light from Servius's flame, you don't see anything else in here. It seems to be like maybe it was an altar room, maybe it's where they come to do some sort of religious works or practices, or they come here to hang out and shoot the shit. You couldn't tell, but there's nothing else in here. There's just that pedestal that sits right over here, now empty, that the scale was on.
Okay.
Listen,
That's I'm
I
listening.
we make our escape, don't you? We've got the
Right.
ice.
Of course. I only thing, I bet you the scale is important to the bugbears, so maybe hide it from view. I don't think they
Oh,
take too
of course.
kindly for
I put the scale into my robes and just like keep it covered. Also, am I still invisible? Has it been 10 minutes since I last cast it to run back from the fire?
Oh, don't make this awkward.
Because you cast it twice, you probably have like a minute or two left on it. So
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm just talking to air. Is what's happening.
you see a fire. I mean, you see actually you cast a spell. Unless are you casting greater invisibility or is it just regular invisibility?
It's just regular invisibility.
Yeah.
So can
when
I
you
see
cast
the
that,
scale?
When you cast that spell, he appears. So you're no longer invisible. You can make that fire.
That
to see it.
That's right. I made the fire. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
And so you're holding the fire in one hand, skill in the
Right.
hand.
Timeline continuity saved.
I'm just going to
That's my thing.
take the fire out, put the scale into my robes.
Listen, Elias, I have an idea. I can use
Yes.
my game at any point as long as I can see where it's going. We can make an escape from the towers or the bridge, anywhere.
Ooh. Very well. Let's see if we can get to the top of a tower. There are still guards along some of the towers. We have to keep our heads down.
I can cast sleep on them to just put them out.
I could also try to cast sleep. Don't we have to be rather close? Oh no, you can put that at a certain point and radiate from it.
Yes.
Of course.
Right. Tower to
well,
our
let's-
left.
As you guys
Let's go.
are discussing that, you enter that room to like look and try to figure out if there's anything else in there. As you're having that discussion, you hear a boom, and that door like reasserts itself. The one that's in here, and you guys are both now standing inside this room. Well,
Oh,
while
no.
that's happening, we jump over to Zadkiel and Dusty, who these guys are absolutely compliant. They're drinking the wine. They are following your every whim. They will follow you almost to the ends of the earth. They're not going to hurt themselves, but they're very much like, we want the stuff. And you guys are like carrots with the horses. So you can take them anywhere you want to, or you can leave them here and keep distracting them if you want. But they're not paying attention to anything else that's going on. They are fully enthralled in what you guys are doing. You need to add to them, or are you guys good?
Dusty. Dusty, when you... they're right in front of me. Dusty! As I'm in the air. Help me round them up outside. I have a special surprise I want to show everyone! As I'm like charismatically gleaming for everyone, and I want to try to guide them all as I can onto the bridge. Where do I know that powder exists, or am I just...
You know he can create a thing. You don't know that this thing is outside, but you know he can make a summon. You've seen him do that before.
Okay, well, without knowing the powder's there, I'm just still trying to just pull them all outside, just very charismatically, very gleaming and shiny, just saying, "Come here, experience the light."
If Dusty goes with you, they easily follow. They're like, okay, sure. They're like, we want this stuff. If you're trying to like hoard them, they're like, yeah. And you do note that it's a little rumbly out there. You're like, you still hear those occasional at the bridge. And they're like, oh.
I go out right with them, just mumbling the whole time, like, "Ah, divine tradition to end a feast on a bridge."
For all of your everlasting soul and fealty, you too can experience the shimmering light of the deity.
All right, and you pull them out to this bridge. Is there anything? The gate kind of closes behind them a little bit. They seem to be like those like they're weighted to just bloop close behind. So now they sit out on this bridge. You guys are both out there. You know that powder is below you and making this rumbling noise. They're kind of like unmoved by it. They think it's part of the storm, but they're like a part of this eating, drinking. They're having a merry time. They're like Mardi Gras right now down the street. They're like, yes, we're taking the party wherever you go.
Dusty, any ideas?
Zadkiel, don't look below us. Do not look below us. Okay?
Okay. We won't. Flaming my arms up in the air, just try to more shimmering lights. At this point, I'm just doing like a weird, just like peacock dance with my wings in the air, because I just don't want them to look at anything else other than me. And
yep. Dusty, are you doing some witchcraft over there?
No, I'm just I'm like having wine, handing it out, just being an all-around fun guy.
For sure. And as that's happening, you see, you notice what it is. You see a hand start to appear on this wall here, as something is like some white, creamy like substance creature is trying to scale this wall. And the people are like, it looks kind of good. So like they're like super pressed about it. They're like, what's that thing? But you guys are kind of selling this whole show that it's like that this is tradition, and you're like, they're summoning this thing. They think that this is all part of this thing, and they're like, oh, cool, it's all working. And they're like, ooga tugga, and they're like summoning this giant sugar monster because it's gonna make them more lit. Exactly. And then we have Achk over here. You run out. You take another 6 points of fire damage, unless you're resistant to fire damage.
I am not.
You take another 6 points of fire damage as you like cover this small child, and you burst out of this tent. So it's not actually a lot of effort. You kind of burst out of it, and you're holding this child, and you look down, and they go, "You rescued me." And then their eyes blink, kind of weird, and haze over, and they go, "Would you like to exit the simulation?" And you have a chance to respond.
Yes.
Congratulations on finding one of the objectives. And your character blinks out of combat and off the map.
Oh.
And we appear back inside this hut. We have Servius and Alias. They stand there, and you hear a voice as you are holding this scale. It kind of radiates, and a ring goes out, and then you hear this sound in both your heads. There seems to be conflict over who found this object. Please decide so we may choose a champion. Thank you. And you both stand there, and Servius is holding it, and Alias is looking at it, and he's like, and his voice is telling you that one of you has to have it.
For a second here. You see, I found the item and with the plan there. You did throw the bolts, which I will give you credit for.
I did open the door.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah. I think I did a lot of the work, you know. I want to
You talk nice to some people. I started a fire to distract them.
Yeah, it's a lot of even, like, back and forth, a lot of us. But I would still love to, like, hold it. If I could just, tell you what. You can have it if I can hold it for 5 seconds first.
Don't trust that at all.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. You know what? I'm not a man of my word, if anything, so that's probably fair.
Upfront about
Right. Well, how's it going, Servius? And I'm gonna, like, take a step towards him and try to touch him?
I'm going to take a step back.
That's fair. Well, this seems to be an interesting, problem. Anyway, Servius.
We worked on this together. If I can talk to the gods, I can make sure that you get due credit.
I like this. I like this idea. And I kind of like, gods, those listening, is there a compromise that can be made? I really don't have to fight through this.
And you hear that high-pitched ring again. Yes. Decide who found it, and it will be decided. Ding!
Well,
That's
again,
not helpful at all.
I found it.
You did find it. Right, you know what? You're fair. It's fair. You can have it. You can have it. I tell you what, and like as I say that, I take a step up towards him. I'm gonna try and cast Dominate Person on Servius.
Fucker.
Yeah,
So-
that's a saving throw of some kind.
Yes, it's a Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah,
Oh,
make me
boy.
a wisdom saving throw. What's your DC?
My DC is that is a 17 save DC.
18.
No! No!
And you
So-
look.
I'll
I
walk
got
up
you.
to him. You got it.
Yeah, Alias walks up to Servius. He's like, I think we can just have an amicable agreement. And again, his eyes flash. And he's like, just give me the trophy. And you go, that sounds like an absolutely grand. And you hear your mother's voice go, don't you do it! Don't you! Give it to him! And he goes, and he snaps out of it. And he's like, no. And you know that he just tried to cast a spell on you.
I
Well,
know. You know why? You know how I know? Because I'm going to cast Dominate Person on him.
nice. Wait. Is that technically? That's not charm effect. Is it considered a charm?
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it charms you.
Okay, cool. Send it at me. Send it at me, bitch. Come on.
All right, make a wisdom saving throw then.
Cool. Except I don't because when a creature attempts to charm me, I can use my reaction attempt to turn the charm back on that creature. And so now you have to succeed a wisdom saving throw or be charmed again.
This is not possible. Okay.
Oh. What is it? What is it?
A 17?
17?
19.
Oh, 19.
Ah!
19. Yeah, see, you guys are having
We're
this
just kind of
moment.
awkwardly staring at each other now. We're like,
Because they've just been talking a lot, and it's like, Elias does his eye thing, and he's like, let me hold it. And you're like, no. And he's like, well, take this. And he's like, and then Elias is like, he kind of flips his hair, and his eyes kind of change colors again. He's like, reflects the spell back at you, and you're like, no, not my own magic.
your mother will be disappointed in you, Servius. Please give me the scales.
He'd be disappointed if I handed it over.
That's probably... You know what? Fuck it. You can have it.
I will not forget this, Elias. I appreciate
I will be mad, though.
you.
I will be mad.
All right. We decided, God.
Yes, we've decided.
Ah, thank you. Would you like to exit the simulation?
Elias, could he... I whisper, can I pray here? Just not really letting Elias hear this.
Okay, pray in your head. Go for it.
Dear time, God. I was wondering, would Elias be brought out with me, or is it just me?
Um, You don't hear a response to that. Elias, you do hear the bell and also the same question in your head. Unaware that it can be heard to either of them, but you hear that Service, and you ding, and it's like, we like to exit the simulation, and then you start to get quiet and pray, and you hear that same thing, ding, we should like to exit the simulation. And what do you say?
Are you having a moment? Do you need, like...
Oh, no!
You look...
The gods just never listen. Fuck it!
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes!
You both are pointed out, and you return back to Limbo, the tavern. The last two are sitting outside, and is there anything left you'd like to do for flair bonus point options to do anything to these guys?
Can I just a quick check? How well built does the bridge look?
Like a bunch of dumb bugbears made it.
So like, if I could just like smile at them while like slowly moving back off the bridge in like a conga line fashion, you know, like.
Yeah.
And then just ask Powder, just like mutter it, like, smash the bridge.
Smash it! Fucking smash the bridge, bro! Yeah. Make me an attack roll. Make me an attack roll.
23.
Yeah. Powder kind of takes its hands and kind of like swings up behind these things. These guys are like kind of partying with this like giant like now sugar mascot, and it's like, yeah! And it puts its hands into it's on the other side of the ground, and it puts its hands into the bridge where it connects on the ground in front of it, and it grabs it, and it's like, and it just kind of roars, and it does like a wave with the bridge, and then like a to the side, and so these bugbear goes, whoa! And they just all get flipped onto the side and take a 75-foot drop. There.
Bye
and
bye.
they hit the ground, and you hear both in your head, boom! Would you like to exit the simulation?
For the love
You
of the
did not
supreme
find
deity,
either object.
yes.
Yes. Boop, and you disappear, Dusty. And you hear that same thing, and you did not find either of the objects. And you're allowed to answer.
Is this the only chance to leave?
Probably.
Yeah, I'll go.
You are yanked out of this moment, and you're returned to Limbo. You guys, in that bar, you kind of like, this time you're like jetted back into those seats, and you're like, and then that enchanted mug slides in front of you. You each grab it, you drink it, and you see that the board, it's that moment, you guys flash into your seats, the drink slams in front of you, you drink it, you all turn your heads, you see the scoreboard, and then again, the numbers start to rotate and scramble as points begin to be tallied, and that is where we end this episode of Battle of the Gods, Session 2 of our 3-part miniseries. Tune in next week, where you will see the finale, where these guys, and it's not gonna be a spoiler, fight a motherfucking dragon to see who can die the least, because every time you die, you lose points. So let's see who can hold on to the most points by the end of it, so their god can be the new god of Silvernell. So stay tuned for next week, guys, where we're gonna fight a dragon, and it's not gonna be pretty at